Hello, everybody. Review, but I am here for Book Smiles today because we are having a readathon as well as a book drive at the same time. The first reader we're going to have is Natasha Dean, and we're going to have 7 authors here today. Total 6 are reading their books or from their books for us. Liz Smith from Usborne has put together a wish list for people to order books from. If they'd like to donate to Book Smiles, we have a PayPal that people can donate to, as well as all of the links for the lovely authors that have joined us today, where everybody can order from. And we'd love to get started. Oh, and one other thing, we had a contest going for the classes, the classroom, and Brian Jacobs' class. He has a first grade class at John Rura Elementary. I might have said that wrong. Rura. I might have said it wrong. I'm sorry. Elementary Middle School. He was our winner. Thank you to his classmates. They were wonderful. I think there's 19 total. They won swag bags from the authors, a whole bunch of stuff in there. So thank you, everyone. And Familius has offered a grand prize to a student that's going to get, I think, X questions on Monday from Mr. Jacob. So let's get started. All right, Natasha, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Annie. Thank you for having me here, and to Book Smiles for inviting me to be part of this readathon. I am so excited to be here. And just to jump off what Annie said, if you want to find all those links, just head to Facebook. The Book Smiles page has all those amazing links. And I believe, Annie, I'm right that we can also donate gently used books as well.
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah.
That's
so
correct.
all the information is there.
It's wonderful. Oh, and the founder of Book Smiles, Larry Abrams, is going to be here at 7:00, and everybody wants to hear from him. So it's going to be a wonderful conversation with all of the authors back at 7:00.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And in the meantime, I am waving to you from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, where
it's amazing. It's amazing.
Where it was very cold this morning, minus 23 Celsius. I don't know what that works out to in Fahrenheit.
I don't know either.
Our little husky had to. She had her booties and her coat, and she's okay with the coat, but the booties. She gets treats for the booties, and I wish someone would give me treats every time I got dressed too, because then I think I'd get out of my pajamas a little bit more.
That's hysterical. Yeah, mine will not put on the booties.
Oh,
we have them though.
I'm so glad, because she gets cold, right? But luckily for us too, when we get cold, not only do we have booties and clothes, we have stories. We have amazing books that keep us warm through the cold nights and those early mornings when we're scraping all the ice off of the windshield and wishing we could just hibernate. And for my part, I'm really excited to read to you from my YA novel, which is, let me see if I can get this into the camera, In the Key of Niragani. And, people always ask me, what is the book about? And I think, okay, well, the book is about an immigrant teenager who is trying to convince her very strict kind of traditional parents that instead of being a doctor, what she really wants to do is be a trumpet player. And so that is kind of what the book is about. But if you read the book, what the book is also about is the magical powers of a really good cup of tea, right? Because Guyanese, like Caribbean people, we adhere to one rule, which is a cup of tea will solve everything.
Really?
So, totally.
Amazing.
And as a kid growing up, you knew how big your problem was, because you could tell by how much milk and sugar your parents or your grandparents or your elders put in the tea. So if you got lots of milk and sugar, you knew it was a big problem.
Oh my
God! You did not get a lot of milk and sugar.
Oh my, that's funny,
right? They were like, you're fine, right? And so I was very excited to share some of my culture and what it means to be Guyanese through the pages of the book, because Guyana is a very small country. It's in South America. It is the only English-speaking country in South America. And I think the entire country has something like 700,000 people. I live in Edmonton. Edmonton has close to 1 million. So my city is bigger than my province. Right.
Wow.
So yeah, so I was really excited to share the story. And like people ask like, oh yeah, what's the story about? And then the other question that authors quite often get asked is, where did you get your story idea?
Right.
And so for me, I have kind of a weird origin story. And my weird origin story is this. I was born in Canada, but when I was 3 weeks old, my family moved back home to Guyana. I grew up in Guyana for 5 years, and then we moved to Canada permanently.
Okay.
And so I'm born Canadian with like citizenship, everything. But my growing up experience with Canada was an immigrant experience because this wasn't the first country I knew. And when we came to Canada, it was such an like incredible adventure. It was so much fun, but not a lot of people know about Guyana. So you would have these really kind of right. You'd have these funny, awkward conversations where people would ask you like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I would say, "Oh, I'm from Guyana." And they would get really happy because they go, "Wow, Ghana! I didn't know you were African." and then I would be like,
I'm not.
Yes, because I'm a mixed race kid. So in my heritage, we come from China, we come from Africa, we come from India, we come from right Guyana. So I would be like,
I love it.
Yes, right? Like, you friend, you are not all wrong. I am in fact African. However, right? And so what it's
someone watching has Guyanese friends. Hi, Rena.
Right?
Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Rena. Yeah, right. And I'd be curious, Rena, if they ever had that experience too, where people mixed up Guyana with Ghana, or the other one was Guinea, right? New Guinea and Papua.
Right.
So yeah, and so sometimes the conversations were funny. Sometimes the conversations were a little bit more hurtful and mean. But I really, Nira came because I wanted to tell the story of not just like an immigrant kid, but I wanted to tell the story about a kid who didn't quite fit in and didn't quite fit the mold. And the story of, like, what do you do? What do you do when you genuinely love your family? You want to honor them. You want to make your parents proud. But the thing that you are, right? Like the thing that lights you up is not the thing they want you to be, or not the thing they want you to do. Like you have a different path. And so the story, kind of explores that. So I'm going to start off by just reading the first couple of pages, and hopefully you can see the cover. One of my author friends was like, "Oh, you have to make sure that people can see the covers."
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Oh, I know. Isn't that gorgeous? And if you buy the hardcover, the material is super duper soft. So there's a lot of like.
I love that. I love the color of it. I love the color of it.
All right, here we go. Chapter 1. Isolation is an organic compound. The cow's eyeball floats in the formaldehyde. It's disembodied, apart, cut off from the whole, just like me. But there's a difference between me and the cloudy orb. It stares out at the kids as though it knows a secret the rest of us are dying to find out. Mackenzie catches me looking at the jar. Are you offended? What? We killed a cow, she says. Are you mad at us or something? Like, aren't they sacred to your people or whatever? I'm not Hindi, I tell her for what must be the millionth time. It's pronounced offended. She slows down the last word and says it louder, like I'm both illiterate and deaf. Smiles, then glowers when I don't smile back. No one's trying to hurt your feelings. We just like burgers. And that right there is a reason that when I graduate high school, I'm taking off to a university that is light years away from this town. And once I get to that faraway place, I'm disowning my parents for moving us to a neighborhood where I am the only brown girl in the entire school, and I have to put up with fools like Mackenzie King. I go back to my staring contest with the eyeball. Are we okay?
No, hold on one second.
Sure.
Something went wrong.
Are we back? I think we're back. I go back to my staring contest with the eyeball. Why? Mackenzie chews on her gum, blows a blue bubble until it pops. Why what? Why are cows sacred to your people? They're not. She has me on a technicality. I'm not Hindi, but some of my people are. I sigh. My grandmother, who, unlike me, is Hindi, says a cow represents growth, life, and nonviolence, and that's why it's sacred. But you're like Indian. No, I'm Guyanese. Judging from the look on her face, I've just fried her brain cell. Cell. Singular. Huh? But you're Indian. I'm from Guyana. So yeah, I'm Guyanese Indian, West Indian. It's a different thing than her face lights up. No kidding. Ghana? I didn't know you were African. The next time my parents ask me why my science marks aren't higher, I'm going to tell them it's because of Mackenzie. Because if I were any smarter in physics, bio, or chemistry, I'd make a laser gun and vaporize the curly hair right off her pink scalp. The bell rings, and I breathe out the tightness in my chest. For the next 40 minutes, it's physics and the origins of the universe, and I am craving every second of it. Physics has to have the answer because the other sciences are letting me down. Biology says the visual system of humans is fine-tuned and able to detect minute variations in color and surface edges. So why don't the kids at school see me? Even Mackenzie, who finds a way to get in my face every day, wouldn't notice if I disappeared. If the police came and questioned her about a missing brown girl, she'd say, brown? Like Indian? That reminds me, I want a burger. And that's how In the Key of Niragani gets started, with Nira trying really hard to hold on to her temper. But you know what, friends, like books aren't books and stories aren't stories unless our characters have some kind of obstacle to push through, right? Like unless there's someone or something they're grappling with, right? Like other than that, it's like an anecdote, right? Story is conflict and story is growth. And the fun, challenging part of being a writer is you're throwing all these obstacles in front of your character. But the fun part of being a writer is you get to put best friends and helpers and guides into the stories as well. And I was so grateful. And I'm going to read you one other section from the story because in Nira's story, I got to add in grandma. And grandma was very much based on my two grandmothers who were sweet and sassy. And these two women were they were lights in my lives and lamps unto my feet. You know, like they right? They educated themselves, even though they weren't allowed to. They self-educated. They worked hard. They showed me that being strong doesn't mean you have to be a bruiser. You can be gentle and you can be strong, and that kindness is a strength, and asking for help is a strength, and loving people is a strength. And so I want to read you one little section from Nira when grandma comes in. And so what's happened is Nira has gone home. She's had a big fight with her mom. She is a very unhappy camper. And so grandma comes into the bedroom to sort of smooth things over, because Nira and her mom have been fighting over clothes because the family just doesn't have money to like buy Nira whatever she wants. And Nira is frustrated because, you know, all the kids around her have all the stuff and they never have to beg for money to get stuff. So this is Nira. She says, I pull the brush through my hair so hard it makes my scalp sting. Then I wrench my hair into a ponytail. I'm going to be ready and waiting in the car. Mom will see I'm a good kid and then she'll feel bad. I don't deserve her yelling at me. I'm so locked in the internal battle, so lost in the imaginary fight I'm having with her. I almost run into Grandma as I swing open the bedroom door. As placid as a quiet stream, she moves past me to the bed. Come, sit. She glances at the floor and then picks up a crumpled piece of purple paper. The jazz auditions. It must have fallen out of my pocket. She unfolds it and smooths the creases, then places it on my nightstand. I sit beside her. Thank you for the tea, I say. She smiles and takes my hand. I feel the squares of chocolate in her palm. For you, she says. No, I buy the chocolate for you. I pull away and I look at it. I bought this for you months ago. Aren't you eating? I eat and share them as I choose, says Grandma. A stab of jealousy goes through me because I know who gets to share with her, my cousin Farah. Grandma holds my hand again, and her fingers are a world of their own, soft and strong, calloused and arthritic. I twine my fingers in hers and feel the breath between us. It's not easy being the only one who doesn't fit in when everyone has a place, she says. I think of my friend Emily and feel a pang of guilt. It's not just me who doesn't fit. It's just I'm the most different, and I've got this girl who keeps thinking I'm Hindi. She laughs. If she has any hard questions, I'll answer for you. Here. She presses money into my hands. I look at it and I feel sick. $20. That's $100 for her. No, Grandma. I am not so old I don't remember what it is to want a cute dress. Yeah, but Mom gave me 20, and if you give me 20, I trail off and wait for her to understand. What? She says. You can't do math? It's $40. She sucks her teeth, a sure sign of her irritation. And they think Guyana's backwater. She shifts her weight, drives her hand into my thigh as she heaves herself up. What are they teaching you in this country? Obviously, not as much as you can teach me, I say. She looks back and smiles over her shoulder. Worry wipes it from her mouth. Nira, you can want all the clothes and friends and romance you want, but these aren't the things that matter. If you can read and write, that's what matters. The rest of it is just garbage to distract you. I know, Grandma. Education, the theme song of our family, and it is on an infinite repeat on our playlist. Brush your hair and get in the car, says Grandma. There's a bag of roti by the door. Bring it. I did brush my hair. Do it again. You look like you got electrocuted. That's the humidity. I follow her out the door, arguing with her and trying to explain moisture and hair and my need for hair products that Mom won't buy. I'm loving my grandmother for getting me, even if she doesn't understand me. So my friends, my time is almost up. That was me. That was Nira. There we go. There we go. That was Nira. And I am going to be making way now for the amazing, wonderful Jacqueline Randall, who will continue on our readathon. And just a reminder again that if you head to the Facebook page of Book Smiles, you can find all the links of all the ways that you can help this amazing organization. And come back and hang out with us at 7 o'clock when all of the authors will gather along with Annie and Larry, and it will be happy chaos as it is with authors, right, Annie?
Natasha, you are wonderful. You are a superb writer. Like,
thank you.
Liquid poetry. Oh my gosh, so yummy. I'm gonna have to grab this book. So wonderful. So thank you so much, and we will see you at 7 o'clock. I really appreciate your time and everything. So we will see you soon. What a beautiful, beautiful story.
All right. See you guys.
Right, we'll see you soon. Bye. All right, everybody. So we're about to bring on Jacqueline Randall. Hi, Jacqueline. How are you?
Hey, I'm fine. My life is a little loopy.
So nice to see you. I'm so excited. I mean, you have no idea. Because I love your website. Because you also have older, books for older people. Mm-hmm. This is older. What am I saying? Older people, older humans, older. So you have a litany of books that you write. But you've written this wonderful book for children that I adore, especially the cover. So go ahead, Jacqueline.
Okay, so I'll give you guys a brief backstory to our story. So the story is I Love You Wherever You Go. And this is a really just piece of my heart. It's actually based off of the relationship of me and my two girls and just how they have this amazing bond with each other. And I was very afraid that they wouldn't have that bond. And I read so many books and talked to so many people and got the tips for the parents that is in the back of the book. But it's also special because my eldest daughter, she actually helped every stage of the book. So she picked the illustrator, she picked what pictures were going to be used, what shades of colors were going to be used, and she was there from the very beginning to the end stage and how the bookmarks, like she was very hands-on with it. So I'm excited about this. But the story is I love you wherever you go. And each picture is based off of an actual real picture. So that's what makes it even better. But this is I love you wherever you go. Hopefully you guys can see. I love you wherever you go. Because you're my baby sister, I can't wait to watch you grow. From being in mommy's belly to now laying in your crib, I can't wait to see you get big. You guys can see it. There's no need to cry since I'll always be by your side. Don't worry, baby swings are just for now. Soon you'll be able to keep up with all the adventures and fun. You're growing bigger and bigger. I taught you how to walk, talk, and play. You're picking up new things with each and every day. I'll help you open things and even clean up a spill or two. You'll get the hang of it eventually because I believe in you. Not again, baby sister. That was my masterpiece. Sometimes you make me angry, and oftentimes you make me sad. But no, I love you even when you're being bad. I love you wherever you go because you're my best friend. It's time for the adventures to begin. Backpacks, maps, snacks, and cups. I have us, no worries. We have places to go. From being an artist, engineer, gardener, or chef, you always make playtime the best. I couldn't have asked for a better playmate, but now it's time to get some rest. So snuggle up close, and I'll drift away to the sound of my voice. I love you wherever you go because you're a piece of my heart. And we have our very last page that has all of these wonderful tips for parents. And I guess I can open it up to any questions you guys have or.
Hi, Jacqueline. I love this book. I love how you put it together. I love how they're off of real photos. I love how your daughters were involved. Mm-hmm. I think that that's just simply amazing. And I just want to say there's a class here. That's watching. Yeah. So Brian Jacobs, Mr. Jacobs' first grade class is watching, and hopefully there's a bunch of students, other children watching. And I just think it's very informative that they can see that, you know, they can be in books. There's more than just reading them. Yeah. They can be part of the books. Their photos can become cartoons. Not that, what do you call it? Illustrations. Illustrations with words. They can make stories up, so it's just wonderful. And how you put that together. And so we What made you decide to put a book together with your children?
With my children, we read so much. We read morning, noon, and night. And it's just, they are library babies. So we're always at the library. We're always just there. And so she wanted a book about like sisters. Because all of the other books had like critters that were siblings, or, you know, they didn't, you know, there was some type of feud or something. And she had that experience, so she wanted that piece, and she was very intentional of like how big the puffs were, and the like, it was very intentional. And I was really surprised because I was like, well, wow, okay. I was like, do you like this? And like, if you scroll through our Facebook or our Instagram, you'll see pictures of her like editing like what the illustrator sent over. So
That's amazing.
I think it's very good that kids can see, like, you can write a book. Like, she wants to write a book, and I'm like, well,
right. I think it's so cool. Yes. So that's just like informing children that they can do this too. Diane Kane is an author that's going to be on at 7, and she's asking, how old are your daughters now?
My daughter actually is turning 6 next week. So,
oh my gosh, she's still such a baby.
She's a baby.
It's so cool to be doing this and so involved. That's amazing to me. I love that. Already knows what she wants to be. Now, Elizabeth Richards wants to know, how did you find your publisher?
I actually am a self-publisher. So at first, we were only going to do like adult books, and people were like, but what about the kids? And I was like, well, if it comes, it comes. And the story just kind of naturally happened. And I think the hardest part was finding an illustrator, because she wanted a certain look. She wanted it to look like the older books, because the style that the artwork is actual watercolors.
Wow.
So it takes a little longer. The artist has to draw them and then paint them in. So nothing is done digitally until like she scans it into the computer. So
I mean, it's just amazing that all of this was put together. I love that it revolves around love.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's amazing. And the pictures themselves, they're just stunning. And so each of them are off of actual photos?
Yes. So each one is off a photo. So there is an actual like photograph of like her looking over the crib. There's a photograph of like her helping her sister walk. And I, as a parent, had like this fear, like, okay, I've been with, you know, my eldest for 3 years, and it's just been me and her. How is this new baby going to merge in? And like, there's a real fear. And, you know, even with like the mommy blog community, like there are plenty of conversations of like, how do we, you know, do this? And so I thought the book would really, really help. And I wanted it to be an easy read so kids can read it themselves. Like we have a video on our page of a big sister reading it to her little sister.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
I didn't want, you know, it to be that book that as a parent, I'm skipping pages, because I know at the end of the night, sometimes we are not going to read all 40 pages. So I wanted it to be something that was beautiful and the older siblings could read, and the parents wouldn't mind reading if it was a favorite book. So I think
that's awesome. But this is also the type of book that can be read for the ages.
Yeah.
Because I also believe that children's books are also good for the elderly, can be in a home for life. Like, I'm one of these believers of this, because I did that with my stepmom, and she loved it, because she wanted to be read to, but she didn't want to do anything serious. So I got all the mommy books, it was fun. It was really cool. So I love books. So that's really fantastic. Now, I love that also that your children are library babies. And we're holding this because there are children that can't get to the library. They don't have access to books. They don't have books in their home for themselves. So we're holding a readathon and a book drive today to get books into the hands of these children. And we're especially looking for Spanish, bilingual, and the Black, Indigenous, people of color books. Yes. So your book is perfect. We have the link up on top of the page or somewhere on the page that you can order your book. I put the link to your website where your book can be ordered. If anyone wants to order it for themselves and want to be or any to be donated to Book Smiles, which will then be delivered to the children in inner city Philadelphia or South New Jersey. And so what you're doing today is just fabulous.
Yes, I'm very grateful for the invitation. I'm also excited for the book drive that we are doing for you guys. One of my partners actually reached out and was like, well, how many books do you need? And so
love it.
I'm very excited, and I feel like you guys are going to get a very nice shipment of books. So we're excited.
Thank you so much. I just loved when you responded with, I could tell you were very enthusiastic about it. Yes. And I hope your children know what you're doing.
Yes, they are at every meeting, and they're up as I'm planning, they are there, and they're just taking their little notes and they pitch their little businesses to me, and I'm like, just not yet. So
that's fantastic. I absolutely love it. Now, do you think you'll ever do another book?
Yes, we are actually working on the second piece to this. So it is actually going to be a kit. And yes.
Tell us more.
So it's actually inspired off of this page, because this actually is there you go.
Okay.
That's my girls. They always have a backpack. They always have a cup. They always have this to-go bag. And so the kit will have the first book and the second book, and it will have some goodies in there. And we're working on it, and I'm a perfectionist, so we are working very hard to get it right and get it out to you guys.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's amazing. That's truly, truly amazing. If there was one of the most, what did it feel like when you finally had the books in your hand for the first time?
It was very exciting, because there's so much work that goes behind the scenes, and people are like, oh, I'm going to write a book, and I'm like, there's so much. Even as a publisher, there's so much editing and decision making that goes behind it, and especially when you're working with children's books. So you have to think about the type of font and how big and where is it located. There's so much thought, and there's I'm a study person, so there's even books about what colors evoke this type of emotion, and so all of that back work was done to
really
perfect, to where I'm like, okay, this is it, it's ready. So when I had it in my hand, I'm like, yep, this is it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. This is the type of book that your girls can use at their wedding for the guests to sign in, because it's about love and stuff. I just love it. So many different things. Now, was it hard to choose which cover to use? Because every illustration is beautiful.
Yes, it was. I wanted to leave the illustrator some free reins, and I also wanted it to be perfect. So I was like, okay, well, base it off of this, and then I want it to look like this. And even like the shape of the heart, she was like, well, do you want the full heart or do you want, just the top? So it was hard. It was really hard to choose the cover.
Oh, I bet. So, yeah, like, do you want the point at the bottom or do you want it rounded? So what did you go with? Let's see the heart.
The heart, we did the top, but we wanted it to kind of wrap around. So it wrapped.
Oh,
and then
like a hug. I love that.
We're very intentional.
I love that.
Yes.
Wow. That's fantastic. Totally fantastic. Now, do your children tell you what they want to be when they grow up?
Yes. So the occupations that were mentioned in the book actually are like what she wants to be. So
really? Okay. That's why I was there. That's so that's true to that's amazing.
Yes.
That's really, really cool. I love how you put in there that even if they're bad. Right? Because that's true. And children seem to forget that you can still be loved even if you're bad.
Yeah, so like we as parents may not say they're bad, but kids will say like, oh, you're being bad. And they need to know like, okay, I might have messed up your tower, but I still love you. Or,
right.
They just, of course, every sibling has their like rivalries and their moments. But to know like, okay, yeah, we did, but we're still going to read this book at the end of the night and we're still going to, we're sisters or we're brothers. And one of the things that like really poked my heart was a mom actually bought it for her sons. And I was like, oh, my heart. It was like my heart. And she was like, they love the book and like they've stopped like feuding as much as they used to. And I'm like, oh my God, we did it. Like,
oh, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Yes.
It's a great food for thought book. And that's what you want, your book to deliver the message. So that's perfect. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. And I think it's amazing that you did this with your daughters. Now the color schemes, was that also hard to come up with, or was this another a marketing thing? Like you figured it out by which colors were best, or did your daughters choose it?
It was a mix of both, because we kind of wanted something that was cohesive throughout the whole book. So a lot of the pictures are like warmer shades of pink, warmer shades of green, and they all look similar in some sort, but then they all stand out in their own like way.
Because it's a very warm looking book. Right? It's very warm. Because some children's books are very bright.
Yes.
They're very warm.
Yes, and I've noticed, and my daughter noticed, which was odd because I didn't think she paid attention, but the more like cartoonish style that's out now, or more like computer style that's out, she does not like it. And I was like, I didn't think you paid attention to like the artwork like that.
Right.
And
isn't that amazing?
She's like, no, I don't want it to look like that. And I was like, okay. Tell me what you want it to look like. And she showed me a book. And so it was really just reaching and working in my network to see like who can actually execute this the way that, we want it.
That's so amazing that it came out of your daughter's soul, truthfully. That's just so beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, Jacqueline, our time is up, but we'll see you back. Are you coming back at 7?
Yes.
All right, fantastic. So we'll see you back at 7, and I can't wait. And again, the link to Jacqueline's websites is on both Book Smiles and the Write Review page, and we hope you'll click it to either get the book for yourself and donate to Book Smiles. That would be wonderful. So thank you, Jacqueline, and we'll see you soon. And thank you, daughters, for us.
I will.
All right. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.
All righty. See you.
All right. Bye. Darshaun, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. I just got scared because I was like, your mouth moved for a second. I couldn't hear you. I said, oh no. Oh my goodness. So lovely to see you. I'm so glad I can hear you. I'm glad that we were able to test before all of this started. I'm so excited that you're here, and I know you want to read some books, so I'm going to let you get started. And I can't wait to hear you tell everybody why you wrote these wonderful books.
So, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read them with Anaiah. She wants to be a part of it. So, Anaiah, come on.
Wonderful.
You want me to? So, you want us to read all four or just a couple?
Well, you have 20 minutes to do whatever you want.
Oh, awesome. Cool.
Okay.
Anaiah Grace, let's read some books.
Oh, her middle name is Grace. I love it. Hi, Anaiah. How are you?
Good.
Wonderful. Thanks for joining us and helping us do our book drive.
Okay, so here's a little context before I start reading this book. I actually wrote this book when she was about 6 months. So right now she's currently 5. So at the time, she didn't know what was going on. She was just looking at me, just, with the googly eyes. So my whole thought process was to stimulate her a little bit, make sure she's understanding that, I want her to have as much fun as possible. So here we go. Anaiah's trip to the rainbow. I waited a long time for this. This is Anaiah. Anaiah sees the rainbow. She's curious to find out what awaits her at the end. With high hopes and excitement for adventure, Anaiah skates to the rainbow. Anaiah hops up and down on the pogo stick while getting closer to the rainbow.
Ooh, I'm scared of that.
Anaiah soars high in her rocket ship to the rainbow. Houston, we may have a problem. Happy and full of joy, Anaiah sails across the 7 seas in search of the rainbow. Arr, mate.
Oh. I'm not a pirate. I'm a kid.
Effortlessly, Anaiah floats high in the sky to find the rainbow. Anxious and jolly, Anaiah rides her tricycle to find the rainbow.
You mean bicycle?
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared of heights.
Playful and carefree, Anaiah skateboards to the rainbow. What awaits at the end is always love, my friends. Be happy at home with your family. The end. So that's Anaiah's trip to the rainbow. I wrote that book so a lot of kids have a tendency to, want to wander off. And us as adults, we always were curious about what happens at the end of the rainbow. So the whole premise behind the book was you can go out and have as much adventure as you want, but always remember you are able to come back home because home is where love is.
Yep.
Our second book is Anaiah's Trip to Space. Now, Anaiah's Trip to Space is, at the time when I wrote it, was a very emotional book because Anaiah was roughly about 2 years old, and she was identifying with a lot of songs. And I actually got a little jealous that she was listening to some song from Nickelodeon. So I created a sing-along, and this space book, Anaiah's Trip to Space, has some true scientific facts throughout the illustrations. So I'm not a phenomenal singer, but I'm going to do my best. Ready?
Yes.
There's a galaxy out there. Just look around and beware for the fallen stars and the particles in the air. Now take a second look. Your life is in the book. You can wander off, but we'll always be there. Now fly, run, jump fast. The volcano's about to blast with fire and rocks in the air. Jupiter has great big storms. Get out of there, you've been warned. It will eat your ship and take you away. Saturn rings spin real fast. Use your boosters to fly away so you can make it to the next planet safe. Uranus is pretty cold. Go out there. Oh no, you'll freeze and become a popsicle. Neptune's a smaller planet. We take life for granted, so come back home one day. The sun is our bright star. It reminds you of who you are. We shine bright and never fade away. Venus spins really slow. Nothing on the planet can really grow. That's why Earth's the best place to stay. Uh-oh, here we go. Look, Earth is just below. You're about to reach back home. Mommy and Daddy, we missed you for days. Now you're back home safe, warming in your snuggly place. We wonder what's next as you take your break. We'll be ready to help again, to help you live life to the end. We want to see you have fun in all your days. Good night. That is Anaiah's Trip to Space. This book has a link on our website, babyauthors.com. It's a sing-along. If you click on the video section, you'll be able to sing that song along with your boy or girl. Now, our third book of the Anaiah's Adventure series is Anaiah's Road Trip. Now, a part of my history comes from poetry. And a lot of what I do with a lot of my children's books as of lately is I try to make them rhyme and easy to read along. So Anaiah's Road Trip, she actually really loves this book a lot. And also Anaiah's Haunted Halloween, which we're going to read next. So, ready?
Yeah.
All right. Anaiah, where are you going?
To the next town
to start my exploring. I want to see the world, you see. I want to know what it has for me.
It's not for me, it's
for the horses and cows.
Hi,
Hi, Mr. Horse.
Hi,
Hi, Mrs.
Mrs.
Cow. Do you know how I can get to the next town? I want to see the world, you see. I want to know what it has for me.
That's the next part of the book.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
Up and down the hills I go, off in the distance as I roll. All I can see is blue skies. What a great day to take a ride.
What's next? I do what you said.
Now I see the big city. I wonder if it has a lot of candy. I like to eat cookies and pies. Strawberry shortcake, what a surprise. This is fun. I'm so happy here, jumping and running with lots of cheer. So this book has a premise of almost like Candyland. Anaiah loves to eat sweets. We have to stop her from eating so many cookies and pies. Making a pit stop to the next town. I wonder if it has a huge playground so I can swing and touch the sky and fall in the balls as I dive.
I mean the live hot.
My playtime is over. It's time that I go. Mommy and Daddy, I made it back home. Thank you for letting me learn on my own. I spoke to a horse and a cow. They told me about life and how to get around.
That was you and my mama.
What to look for, who's nice and kind. Be slow to grow up because the world is mine. And throughout most of our children's books, we always incorporate, my wife and I, we always put ourselves in the end because we're real strong about family. It's no better place to be than with your family, and especially in today's times anyway.
This is the book called Anaiah's Haunted Halloween.
Anaiah's Haunted Halloween, one of her favorite books. All right, Anaiah's Haunted Halloween. Now this book here was created.
I also learned this book.
I know it's coming soon. This book was created solely for Halloween. Again, we had a lot of fun with this book. It's not spooky at all. It's actually pretty fun. It's not scary, but it's a fun book. You ready?
Yes, but you should have just made a kangaroo book so we can read one.
We might. There's a spider right behind you. You can run and you can hide.
You can sing the song.
Should I?
Yes. That's a like song.
Okay.
I like song.
All right. Let's do the song. There's a spider right behind you. You can run and you can hide. You can have the fear inside. But be careful because monsters like to hide.
Why?
Because they want to scare you.
Oh my God.
There's a clown standing right behind you. Clowns are often fun, but beware. Clowns can give you quite a scare.
Oh my God, I didn't want to say it. And there's a mouse in there with cheese.
A ghost is floating all around you.
Are you?
Go sleep under sheets. So close your eyes and don't you.
Oh my God! I told you not to show it because I don't want to. I don't want.
A werewolf is creeping up behind you. Ready to snack, he's been hungry for a week. Run quickly before you become his feast.
Guys,
A scary pumpkin full of fight
sing the song.
is thinking about eating you on Halloween night.
Oh my gosh, I shoved this cup.
All right. The moon is full, which means the night is almost over. We must catch the monsters so Halloween can be over.
Because we go slay the monsters.
Okay. Come, scary friends. I have a treat for you. Crawl in this box and see what I have for you. Anaiah's being the ghost hunter.
Yes, because I do not like people that like to eat.
Now that I caught them, I'm no longer scared. Mommy and Daddy, the monsters are in here.
Why are they not mad? Because my parents are coming to take them away.
And that is the end of our 4-book series as of now. Anaiah's trip to Atlantis will be coming out either late this November or early December.
December is coming.
Part of the reason I created these books was to, of course, have as much fun with my daughter as possible, to let her identify with herself in the images. These images were taken roughly when she was about 6 months old, then a year old, then 2 and 3. Go ahead, get your thing. And
what?
Your food. So yeah, that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to make sure that she identified with herself, because a lot of kids don't get a chance to see themselves portrayed in books or movies or TV shows, etc. So part of our goal was to turn these books into an animation film and to, I guess, build the brand awareness of having kids identify with a real character. So Anaiah images are her real images from when she was a baby. She's still a little baby. So yeah, so thank you for listening to the Anaiah's Adventure series. I really appreciate it. I really had a blast. I waited so long to read those books with her. Again, I created a 10-book children's series when she was a day old. That's where I got my inspiration from. But I also knew that I wanted to take my time and really be a parent as much as possible and experience every day with her. So we were coming out with the book once a year. So Anaiah's Trip to Atlantis would be our 5th book. She'll be 5 years old. And I purposely and intentionally did that because I realized how time flies by. Uh-oh.
You can hear me now. That was a joke. Darshaun. I'm just kidding. I forgot to turn my mic back on. I think it's simply amazing because so many of us are making scrapbooks, and you're putting together a book.
Right.
Now,
right.
Who did the illustrations?
My wife and I, we did the illustrations. So what we did at first, the first book, we did the illustrations on our own. And what we did from there was we do have staff, but for the most part, we kind of finalize everything. So we'll do the illustrations, lay out the story, and then we'll have somebody color it in.
It's just amazing. So let's tell everybody real quick. Diane Kane says great pictures. Elizabeth Richter says kudos, Dad and Mom. And Karen, she is also part of the staff at Book Smiles. She says, thank you, Darshaun. Beautiful stories and daughter.
Thank you. Thank you.
So tell us what else you have going on with, which I put the link to Baby Authors. That's what it's called, right?
Yep.
So I put the link for this up so everybody can order books for themselves and for Book Smiles if they want to donate. But tell us what else is available on that site.
Okay, so okay, great. I'm glad you asked. So we have bed sheets available, this is a bed sheet that's behind me. It covers a full or twin size bed. It's a 3-piece bed set with 2 pillowcases and the bed sheet. And every book cover has a bed set. Also, every book has their own sock. So we have socks.
I love it.
We have socks from every book cover. We do have something for the boys. We have the comeback kangaroo, which is a catchphrase that Anaiah was saying to me every time I was editing the videos. She would see a kangaroo disappear and she would say comeback kangaroo. So we made the comeback kangaroo for the boys. Now, also on that website, babyauthors.com, we have shoes, baby bags, we have umbrellas, we have face masks, pretty much anything that you can think of for the most part. Sleeping bag. Yes. That's
just simply amazing. I might have to get a pair of the shoes, but I don't think they'll fit. That's so cool. That's super cool. You need to find Nickelodeon.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get in contact with some of those people. When the COVID happened, it kind of just messed a lot of communication up with a lot of people. But I'm working on it. I had mentioned to you before that I was trying to do the Kickstarter campaign. I'm still waiting on that to pin. Part of my process with that was to turn these books into an animation film. Right. And then from there, just kind of let it be a streaming house of other people or other parents who want to have their children's book or some great idea come through us, and we just teach you how to do it.
Oh, I think it's just such a stunning idea. So the first grade teacher that won the award says, my students really like the Halloween book and want me to get it for the class, Darshaun.
Oh, you know what? This book has been such a great seller. It's still selling as of now. It amazed me because we took some time to come out with it because we wasn't too for sure. But it's a smash. They'll love it. They'll love it.
But even the graphics in that book is really neat with all of the different characters. It's a lot different than the other books.
Right.
You had a lot of action going on in all of those illustrations.
Say that again.
You had a lot of action going on in each of those illustrations.
Yes. So what was happening for us was, so Anaiah's Haunted Halloween. If I can be truly honest with you, are you familiar with Ryan's toy review? She was singing this song. She was singing a Halloween song from Ryan, and I got jealous as a dad.
You're so funny with the jealous. I love it. I love it. You are such a loving dad that you're like, I got jealous, so I made a book. I got jealous, so I did that. I love it.
Yeah, so I came out with my own Halloween story, and I said I'm gonna make mine better than his, you know. So I was in competition with a little kid, you know. But so I created these stories because, you know, my dad didn't get a chance to do the things that he wanted to do with me, and he told me, hey, if you ever get married, you know, hold on to your family and do as much as you can because you guys grow up really fast. So I created these books for me. It just so happened that Anaiah gets the benefit of it. But when I look back on these times, I look back from when she was like 6 months to where she's at now. I go, man, time really flew by. I'm glad I got a chance to take advantage of all of the small moments I had with her.
You're making me cry with what your dad's advice, you know, hold on to your family. Like that's huge, and do what you can with them and everything. You can tell what a great father you are.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Great husband. It's just wonderful that you're doing this with your daughter and everything. And it's so funny. It's so cute seeing you sing together.
Yeah.
Everything, you know, and it's just wonderful. And you're teaching her all of the things that she could be doing because she can become an astronaut.
Right. Which is yeah, that's so important. I'm glad you said that. So when we create these shoes, my wife and I, what we're doing is usually what happens when you become like a teenager or an adult. That's when you go get your job, your college degree, or your certification. Well, I said, you know what? Let me teach her how to design this stuff now, so she can just be familiar with it, maybe even bored with it, but she'll know how to do it. So she knows how to create socks, umbrellas. She knows how to do some of the illustrations. Now, is she a professional at it? No. But is she familiar with it, making mistakes? Perfect. That's what I want her to do. So I encourage any student that's out there watching, any parent, teach your kids how to build a car right now or build a house right now. It's just something to do, because you don't want to wait till they're like 20s and 30s and then they're going to try to figure it out. Let them try to figure it out now.
That's just wonderful. Well, Darshaun, it was such a pleasure listening to your books, watch you interact with your daughter, and you'll be back at 7, correct?
Yes, I will be back.
More about books. All right, so we'll see you at 7, and we're going to bring Sylvia Lopez on, and we'll talk to you then. All right, thank you so much. Okay, no bye. Hi, Sylvia.
Hi, Annie.
It's such a pleasure to meet you face to face. We've been talking on the phone so much. I feel like I know you so well. So you've been waiting.
Yes, no, I've been enthralled by the speakers. This is, Darshaun was wonderful, and I've just been listening to everybody who's been reading. So that inspires me as well. So that's fun.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Rena says, hello, Sylvia. So I'm so excited that you're here. You are our first Hispanic author of the night. So, we're here because I'm trying to get, we at Book Smiles, we're hoping to get, Spanish bilingual BIPOC books into the facility so that we can then bring them to the children that read Spanish books and all of the others. I just think it would be wonderful to inspire people to donate those books to us. And we have your link up. So what book were you going to be reading to us today?
I'm going to be sharing today Pacho Nacho.
I love this cover. I love this cover. It's awesome. Now, you have a ton of books.
Oh, I wouldn't say a ton, but I started writing late because I was a media specialist, a librarian for 35 years.
Oh, wow.
So it wasn't until after I retired, actually, although I had written stories before and I had tons of information and, tons of ideas, but I really began to write with the intent of publishing after I retired, which is just 5 years ago. And my first book came out in 2008. Well, I self-created, I self-published the book, what you see behind me there with the little birds.
So beautiful, so beautiful. That cover gets me.
Yeah, it's beautiful. That is a local artist, and her name is Veronica Cabrera, and she's wonderful. And so, you get rejected. So I thought, well, I'm a little like the little red hen. I'll do it myself. So I didn't do a paperback to begin with, or created a book. I created a digital book because I like technology as well. And I know that sounds like today was, wow, what should I do? But I do technology and I'd like to learn. So I learned how to make digital books, and I put those books, which is the same book in a bilingual version, one in Spanish and one in English, on my website, and they're narrated and everything. And then I went on to do some more. They're on my website. They're free. And that's in the background. I was already like trying to get myself published, traditionally published, more other books. So in 2018 was actually my first book was published, and I have it here. And it is also a multi-generational and multiracial book. And it is a family and adoption story. And it just so happened that I was very, very honored because it won the Florida Book Award. And that was just the first book. So
my goodness.
I was just really blown away with that. And
that's wonderful.
Other things, I went on to do other things. This was my second book, which was published with
love that.
Oh, this book and it's so much fun to present. the kids just, as soon as I show and I do my presentation, I mean, I just hear the gasps. And it's just, this was a wonderful book. This was a STEAM book, science and art combined. And it is a collaboration with an Italian artist, Guido Danieli, who is not an illustrator. He's an artist.
I've heard of this name, Guido Danieli.
Guido Danieli. Well, he's famous. And how I ended up, you know, communicating with him and collaborating with him is the editors and my agent's favorite story to tell at conferences. Because it is just like a series of fortunate events. It was just one thing after the other. And then Pacho Nacho came along at the beginning of this year. And my last one that I have in August, which is also, this is a story of Selena Quintanilla.
Your covers are breathtaking.
Oh, this cover.
All of them.
This is Paola Escobar, who made this cover. She just won an award from the Society of Illustrators in America just for this book, for this cover.
Beautiful.
Very well deserved. And that is a story of the singer, Selena Quintanilla, which was actually commissioned to me. So, well, I got to take it and run with it, and I did. So,
amazing.
Yeah. But Pacho Nacho is the one that I'm going to share with you today. And without further ado, let's get started with Pacho Nacho. Long ago, in a little town in Mexico, Mama and Papa cooed and fussed over their first baby boy. Here we are. Let me see how I can get the pictures. Papa loved the name Pacho. Mama loved the name Nacho. They could not agree. Let's ask la familia, Papa said. Los abuelos liked Nico. Las abuelas loved Tico. Los tíos proposed Melo. Las tías loved Felo. Los primos offered Kiko. Las primas loved Rico. No one could agree. Mama and Papa wanted to please everyone. So they named him Pacho, Nacho, Nico, Tico, Melo, Felo, Kiko, Rico. And there he is. There is our Pacho Nacho right down there. A year later, Mama and Papa cooed and fussed over their second baby boy. This time they could not think of a name. Let's ask la familia, Mama said. But no one in the family could think of a name either. So they named him Juan. They ran out of names. Mama and Papa loved watching the boys grow. They were proud of both boys. But they were especially proud of Pacho, Nacho, Nico, Tico, Melo, Felo, Kiko, Rico's beautiful name. Always call your brother by his beautiful long name, they said over and over to Juan. And los abuelos, las abuelas, los tíos, las tías, los primos, y las primas made sure everyone in town did too. As the boys got bigger and braver, they ventured farther and farther from home. Each day, Mama warned the boys about playing near the river. Oh, cuidado, I don't want my precious darlings falling in, she said. Then she would kiss the silky hair on top of their heads and send them off. But even precious darlings with silky hair don't always mind their mothers. Pacho, Nacho, Nico, Tico, Melo, Felo, Kiko, Rico, and Juan were not careful of the river. They chased croaking frogs. They jumped on mossy rocks. They climbed giant trees. And one morning, this happened. Pacho Nacho went out on a limb and it broke. And there is Juan watching his brother. Pacho Nacho is in trouble. Fast, fast, fast on his little feet, Juan ran to his mother. Mama, Mama, he gasped. Pacho Nacho is... Mi amor, said Mama. Always call your brother by his beautiful long name. Juan tried again. Sí, Mama, but Pacho Nacho has... Juan, Mama said firmly. Juan took a deep breath. Pacho Pacho, Nacho, Nico, Tico, Melo, Felo, Kiko, Rico may fall into the river. Ay, mi niño, Mama cried. Get Papa. Fast, fast, fast on his little feet, Juan ran to his father. Papa, Papa, he panted. Pacho Nacho is... Mijo, said Papa. Always call your brother by his beautiful long name. Juan tried not to cry. See, Papa, but Pacho Nacho has... Juan, Papa said sternly. Juan took another deep breath. Pacho Nacho, Nico, Tico, Melo, Felo, Kiko, Rico may fall into the river. ¿Cómo? Exclaimed Papa. Quick, to the boat. But then he stopped in his tracks. No oars. The old carpenter was fixing them. Go get the oar, Juan, Papa yelled. Rápido. Fast, fast, fast on his little feet, Juan ran to the old carpenter. Señor, he wheezed. Pacho Nacho is... Muchacho, said the old carpenter. Always call your brother by his beautiful long name. Sí, señor, but Pacho Nacho has... Juan, the carpenter said severely. Juan rubbed his face. He huffed and puffed. He blew out his cheeks. Then he yelled at the top of his lungs. Pacho Nacho, Nico, Tico, Melo, Felo, Kiko, Rico may fall into the river. Caramba, exclaimed the carpenter. Why didn't you say so before? Fast, fast, fast on his old feet, the carpenter brought Papa the oars. With great urgency, Papa and the carpenter rowed and plucked the frightened Pacho Nacho, Nico, Tico, Melo, Felo, Kiko, Rico from the broken branch. Once on the shore, Mama jiggled him, Papa wiggled him, and Juan tickled him until Pacho Nacho, Nico, Tico, Melo, Felo, Kiko, Rico giggled. Ay, 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 Mama sobbed. To think one of our precious darlings could have fallen into the river. All because of that long, silly name, sniffled Papa. Whatever should we do? Juan rolled his eyes. Like these grown-ups, right? Why not just call him Pacho Nacho? Mama and Papa looked at each other and smiled. Mama drew her boys close, and Papa beamed at Juan. Claro! What a smart boy, he said, joining in the hug. And from that day on, Mama and Papa forgot all about long, silly names. They called their boys Pacho, Nacho, and Juan. And los abuelos, las abuelas, los tíos, las tías, los primos, y las primas made sure everyone else in town did too. The end. I hope you like that story. I don't know if you have read Tiki Tiki Tembo. It's retold by Arlene Moselle, and it's a classic. And it is about a boy with a very long name. And that was the inspiration for me for this book. Because in the library, I used to read Tiki Tiki Tembo every single year to different classes. And they loved it, and I loved it too. But then I realized one day the story actually had come from Japan, had made its way to China, had gone to England where it was retold. From England, it came to the United States where it actually became a Boy Scout and Girl Scout campfire song. It's called Erikuchi Kachakama. And it had never been told in any country in Latin America as if set in that country. So I decided to go ahead and set it in Mexico. And that's how Pacho Nacho came along. I have to shout out to the illustrator. His name is Pablo Pino, and he lives in Argentina. And I just thought his illustrations were wonderful. They just fitted the story perfectly. So that's my presentation of Pacho Nacho. If you have any questions or comments, I'd be glad to take them.
Sylvia, you are hysterical. I mean, the way you delivered the book, everything. I was in love with that book. That it's absolutely fabulous. Diane Kane is saying, how wonderful, excellent, heart, ha. I mean, what a great story premise, Sylvia. Oh, Book Smiles. Sylvia, thanks for sending us your books. They are incredible.
It's a wonderful
So the books have arrived at Book Smiles. So thank you so much for that. It's just amazing that you could even say Pacho nata pata. I cannot say all of that together, and you were able to do that. That was fabulous. Now, did you know that? I don't know the other story, Tiki Tiko Tambo or whatever.
Well, Tiki Tiki Tambo was rewritten by Arlene Moselle, and the pictures were done by an illustrator by the name of Blair Led, and it won the Caldecott in 1963.
Okay.
Considered a children's classic. But I used to tell it every year, and the children liked it. But then I began to kind of like change the words. And then one time instead of being in China, I kind of told it as if it was in another place, maybe.
I know.
And so it evolved. And the whole story, I love, well, as a librarian, I love research. So I research everything, even folk tales, because folk tales have their own history.
Right, of course.
And in the back matter here, besides the glossary, in the back matter, I tell the story of the evolution of that story of the boy with the very long name. It's 2,000 years old in the Japanese tradition. Oral tradition. So how it evolved to today is in the back of the book. And
that's beautiful. So beautiful. So Mr. Jacobs' classroom students wanted to relay a message to you that they love the book and it was fun to listen to. You know, his students, I believe he has 19 students and 16 of them are Spanish. They speak Spanish. So I'm sure that they absolutely adored your book. It's just so exciting to read books that are written bilingually. And I don't know Spanish, but I was still able to understand your book completely, which is also wonderful. The illustrations are magnificent.
Yes, they are.
Yes, wonderful. They are. Now, this book was published when?
This book was published. Well, it just came out this year. It happened that both of them came out together. The Pacho Nacho came out in February. Selena was supposed to come out in February. It was scheduled for August, which was actually a good thing, because it gave Pacho Nacho a chance to evolve in and of itself.
Right.
And Selena has also Selena is bilingual completely. There's two versions.
Okay.
Yes, there's a completely English book, and there's a Spanish book, as opposed to this, which is an innately bilingual story because the words are in the story, the words in both languages. I have a little golden book coming out in January 2012. The Pokey Little Puppy and all of those, when I came from Cuba,
those are the best, right? I have a ton of them.
Oh gosh, yes, they're wonderful. They're classics. And they asked me to do Frida Kahlo.
No, I love those.
Yes. It comes out January 12th of 2021. And actually, I was just asked to do Sonia Sotomayor, the Justice of the Supreme Court. And she's the only Hispanic justice in the Supreme Court. And also for Little Golden Books. And that one comes out in 2022. I just sent it out. Those two are completely two different languages, one completely in Spanish and one completely in English, which are my translations. So,
you are completely, you're stunning. You're stunning. Says, congratulations. You're going to meet her when we all get together. Brian said, Mr. Jacobs, excuse me, says, I used to love Tiki Tiki Tembo as a kid, but I would love to read this version with my students. I guess I'll be buying this one for the classroom too. So funny. We're getting into
presentations, Annie. I do a lot of classroom presentations. A lot.
I can tell.
Well, you know, when you spend 35 years storytelling, what are you going to do after you retire? You keep storytelling, right? There could be your own stories or somebody else's stories. But I've been reading my books online now I have some stories on my website, my own stories.
Right.
And also I do presentations. I just read Selena. I did presentations on Selena the past 2 weeks. I think I had like 8 schools. And I have so much fun with those kids. That's so wonderful.
Now, can you tell everybody about your website, how they can get to it? Because I didn't put your website up. I put how to purchase your book for Book Smiles or for themselves or both.
If you look at my name, the word Sylvia spelled with an I, okay, so because it's a Hispanic, it's a Spanish version of it. If you put sylvialopezbooks.com, that's my website. And everything is on there. I use that as my communications more than any other form of communication. I use my website. I post everything on there.
I love your website.
Thank you.
It's very interactive too.
Thank you.
You know, so you said that there were free books on there as well?
There are the flip books are free. You just open them and the children just flip the pages. The Sumsumcito one, which is actually a Sumsumcito, is a bee hummingbird. It is the smallest bird in the world and it's found only in Cuba. So that inspired me to write. It is a plus story, like why is he so little and so colorful? But then there's two other books on there on the Taino Indians, which were the Native Americans of the Caribbean, and also on hummingbirds, which that book is interactive because it takes the kids out to the web to see a real hummingbird eating and flying.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, Sylvia, will you be coming back to join us at 7 o'clock? All right. So we'll see you at 7 o'clock. And I thank you so much. That was such a wonderful story. And all of your other books look amazing as well. And we'll see you at 7 o'clock.
Yes. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi.
Susan, how are you?
Good. How are you, Annie?
I'm wonderful. It's such a pleasure to meet you. I'm so excited.
You as well.
Oh my goodness. I see Ruth.
Yes.
Back there.
You back there. Yes.
Oh,
and then I have the book I'll be reading in Spanish. I have it in English as well, so you can just see what that book is in English.
Fantastic. So I have put the link up as you sent to me
for
Scholastic. So go ahead. You can introduce yourself, tell everybody about yourself and how to read your book.
Thank you so much, Annie. Nice to meet you too. So my name is Susan B. Katz, and I am the author of a dozen books. The one we're going to read today is Un Año Redondo, which, as I was telling Annie, is all year round, but in Spanish. So it's about shapes and months, and I matched a shape with each month of the year that I felt like was kind of the iconic shape for that month. So Un Año Redondo. Puedes ver la página de entrada. Durante 12 meses vamos de aventura. Para cada mes nombramos una forma o figura. Puedes ver el perro porque el perro está en cada página. Tienes que buscarlo, pero está en cada página. Un círculo redondo echamos a rodar. Usa palos y carbón. Vamos a jugar. Puedes ver que el círculo se convirtió en muñeco de nieve. Y este mes es enero. Es el primer mes del año. Recorta un corazón para alguien especial. Escribe un mensaje, envíalo como postal. Y esto es para febrero. Claro, tenemos el Día de la Amistad o lo llamamos el Día de San Valentín. Y entonces normalmente cortamos tarjetas, ¿verdad? Eso es. Un huevo ovalado se está rompiendo. Sale un patito, cuac, cuac, ¿lo estás viendo? ¿Ves el patito ahí, chiquito? Y este mes es marzo. Entonces tuvimos un ovo ovalado y se convirtió en el huevo de donde salió el patito, ¿no? ¿Qué sigue? Enero, febrero, marzo, abril, ¿no? Un medio círculo muy colorido. Mira el arco iris que ya ha salido. Porque el arco iris es un medio círculo, también el paraguas es un medio círculo. Hay varios mediocírculos en el mundo. Un cuadrado que parece un florero. Las flores crecen con el aguacero. Y este es mayo. También quiero decir que usted seguramente sabe que el cuadrado tiene 4 lados que son iguales, ¿verdad? Es una figura bastante fácil de reconocer. Un diamante deportivo, prepárate a batear, las bases están llenas, vamos a ganar. Y me encanta esta página porque el ilustrador hizo sombras, puedes ver las sombras que él hizo, como que estás viendo desde arriba como un pájaro, y me gusta cómo hizo para junio.
Ahora, Julio es una figura que tiene dos lados iguales y dos otros lados iguales. ¿Y puedes adivinar cuál figura es? Es un rectángulo, ¿verdad? Como una piscina. Un lindo rectángulo nos puede refrescar. En esta piscina vamos a nadar. Y seguramente en julio, donde vives, la mayoría de la gente nada en julio. En agosto, ¿verdad? Un cono café vamos a compartir antes que el helado se vaya a derretir. Mucha gente, a muchos niños les encanta el helado y en verano es cuando comemos el helado más que nunca, ¿verdad? Porque hace calor y por eso se está derritiendo el helado. Un octágono, los carros deben parar. Fíjate siempre antes de cruzar. Entonces los niños van en camino a la escuela, ¿verdad? Y el octágono tiene 8 lados, ¿verdad? Como un pulpo que tiene 8, decimos tentáculos. Escoge una esfera cuando termine de crecer. Una vez que la talles, la puedes encender. Este es mi mes favorito, que es octubre. Y no solamente porque es Halloween, porque me encanta Halloween, pero también mi cumpleaños es en octubre. Entonces me gusta ese mes mucho. Que sigue noviembre, que ahora viene un festivo que tenemos, el Día de Acción de Gracias. Y este mes pusimos triángulo. Este triángulo es un pastel para disfrutar. Toda la familia la podrá saborear. Entonces, seguimos. El último mes es diciembre. Los niños hacen un 8 patinando. Están bien abrigados porque está nevando, ¿verdad? ¿Ves que están diciendo la figura del 8? ¿Verdad? En inglés lo llamamos figure 8. Y así se hace cuando patinas, ¿verdad? De enero a diciembre una figura para cada mes. Forma y figura son sinónimos, entonces no importa. Para que no las olvides nunca, nómbralas otra vez. Entonces están pidiendo que usted recuerda, si prestaste atención, que por ejemplo el corazón era para, ¿te acuerdas cuál mes? Era febrero, ¿verdad? Para el Día de la Amistad, Día de San Valentín. Y vamos a ver el cuadrado. ¿Te acuerdas de 4 lados iguales? El cuadrado era mayo, ¿verdad? Entonces, tú puedes ir mirando en todo el mundo las formas que tú ves. Una ventana, tal vez una ventana es un cuadrado o una ventana puede ser un rectángulo también. Tal vez si ves una pelota, la pelota es una esfera, tanto como la calabaza era, y aún los teléfonos son de más o menos de rectángulo, ¿verdad? Los libros, este es el libro en inglés, este libro yo diría que es más como un cuadrado, más o menos, ¿verdad? Este libro sí es un cuadrado, este libro que salió ahora es un cuadrado, pero hay algunos libros que son más triángulos, como este, por ejemplo, el que tiene, la que tengo atrás, es un rectángulo, ¿verdad? Entonces, espero que les gustó mucho Un Año Redondo y lo pueden buscar en Scholastic. También igual lo tienen en inglés. Pueden leer el mismo libro en inglés y en español. A ver, tenemos bastante tiempo. Puedo leer otro libro que no está en español, pero es el libro más nuevo que salió mío. Si está bien, no sé. No sé. Annie, I'm going to read another book because we have time, so I hope that's okay. Go ahead. I'll read my newest book, Meditation Station, which is about staying with your breath and staying in the station and not getting whisked away by your racing train of thoughts. So, let's see, Meditation Station. Es la estación de meditación, ¿verdad? Donde uno puede estar mirando los trenes, escuchando los trenes, mirando la gente que pasa, pero no montándose en el tren, concentrándose en la respiración y manteniéndose tranquilidad, ¿verdad? Meditation Station is a special place. Trains come and go at a speedy pace. You see Bear right there? Thoughts are like trains that zoom right by. What's that over there? Wow, can I try? You can see that he's getting distracted by candy and ice cream and toys. Hay muchas cosas que distrae al oso, ¿verdad? Y también yo también me distraigo mucho. Me imagino que usted se distrae mucho también. Toot toot! The conductor pulls the cord. Chug a chug, choo choo, all aboard. Puedes ver los diferentes animales que hay. Un conejito, un zorro, un elefante, un hipopótamo. Breathe in, wave to the engineer in striped jean overalls. Breathe out, smile as the caboose passes and dispatch calls. Whoosh goes your breath, like the whistle's hot steam. Listen as steel locomotives squeak and scream. You know all those noises that the train makes? Se hace un ruido muy fuerte, ¿verdad? Watch your train of thoughts roll down the railroad track. Sit still and listen to the clickety-clack, clickety-clack. Wonder what's loaded in the wagons and cars? Maybe magical potions or bright shooting stars. Look, it's a flatbed full of things you wish you could do, like have birthday cake for breakfast or fly to the zoo. Tú imagínate, pastel de cumpleaños para desayuno. Sería algo muy especial, ¿verdad? Y volar al zoológico es otra cosa muy especial. There goes a boxcar of words you wanted to say, adventures, stories, and games you could play. Wait! The signal lights are flashing red, yellow, green. Stop and slow down your breathing machine. Feel the thumpity thump of your little heartbeat from the top of your head to the tips of your feet. Inbound, a double-decker diesel line. Hear the hum of your breath and you'll be just fine. On the platform, no baggage is the perfect location. Relax and enjoy the meditation station. Me encanta ese moño que tiene el caso. Muy lindo, ¿verdad? You can lie down flat or sit crisscross. Remember, you are your own breathing boss. As thoughts zoom in and out of your brain, stay in the station and just watch each train. Y puedes ver que al final tiene un juguete en la casa, ¿verdad? So I will just show you, because we have a few minutes, I'll show you my other books. The first book I ever wrote a long time ago was called ABC Baby Me. And I wrote it the day my twin nephews were born and I was flying from Michigan to California. Es sobre cada cosa que tienes que hacer para niños, para bebés. Y como ellos eran mellizos, eran dos de ellos, ahora tienen 12 años, son mayores. Pero como ellos eran mellizos, yo escribí todas las cosas que tienes que hacer para un niño. Y luego salió este libro que tenemos aquí cayendo un poquito la portada. Pero este libro se llama My Mama Earth, que es como mi madre tierra, pero también tiene que ver con madre y hija o hijo. Y es un libro muy lindo, ganó un premio, ganó un premio. Y tiene dibujos muy lindos adentro, muy bonitos, ¿verdad? Ahora, luego salió este libro, ABC Schools for Me, y es sobre todas las cosas que haces en la escuela, y también es con Scholastic. Y luego la que les leí, que es este de All Year Round, y los leí la versión en español, también lo tenemos en francés, pero yo no hablo francés, entonces no te puedo leer el francés. Un mes a la pues, no sé exactamente si es cierto, pero eso es el título de aquel libro. Y luego, ya este año han salido varios libros míos que son libros de capítulos. Ese se llama The Story of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Y no sé si conoces quién era, pero fue un juez para la Corte Suprema de los Estados Unidos. Fue una persona muy importante, desafortunadamente murió este año, pero ella, como era muy importante, muchos niños están leyendo y aprendiendo sobre ella. Luego salió el libro de Frida Kahlo. Frida Kahlo, seguro, tal vez, espero que sabes quién es. Era artista y también era la esposa de Diego Rivera. Luego salió la de Jane Goodall. Jane Goodall era, es una mujer que protegió y protege a los animales, sobre todo los monos, o específicamente los chimpancés que viven en África. Entonces, yo la vi hablar hace un año. Luego salió el libro de Albert Einstein, que es un científico, era una persona muy importante, que hizo muchas teorías científicas muy importantes. Luego salió Marie Curie, y ella también era científica cuando muchas mujeres no eran científicas. Tengo otro que salió de Fred Rogers ahora. A ver si lo tengo. Sí que lo tengo. Este es el libro de Fred Rogers que salió la semana pasada y es lo llamamos Mr. Rogers. Él tuvo un programa de televisión que cuando yo era niña lo vi todos los días. Y él decía, estoy tan feliz que somos vecinos, estoy tan feliz que somos amigos. Y cantaba una canción, ¿verdad? Cantaba una canción al principio. Tenía trenes, tenía títeres que hablaban. Entonces, este es el libro que salió ahora. Y luego, claro, salió Meditation Station, que es la otra que leí ahora. Entonces, ya tiene la colección de lo que son mis libros y van a salir más. Ahorita en diciembre sale el libro de Gandhi, The Story of Gandhi, que era un líder en la India. Una persona muy importante que él no quiso guerra, no quiso armas, no más. Él quería enseñar a la gente cómo tener paz y cómo cambiar las leyes sin pelear, sin tener guerra. Entonces, y van a haber muchos más. El año que viene voy a tener varios libros que van a salir. Ha sido un placer leer con ustedes hoy y espero que busquen mis libros. Muchas gracias y I am going to turn it back over to Annie, I think, in just a moment. I will hopefully be back at 7 o'clock to be a part of that larger conversation about bilingual books. I was a bilingual teacher for 25 years. So I was a Spanish immersion teacher, first, second, and third grade, and a literacy coach for K-8. So I have worked a lot in using Spanish literature in my classroom. Y los libros en español son muy importantes por muchas razones y vamos a hablar de eso por la tarde. Bueno, ahora es la tarde, pero un poquito más tarde, en unos 20 minutos, vamos a tener una charla con varias autoras y autores sobre la importancia de los libros en español. Y sé que algunos de ustedes están leyendo en inglés, español, da igual, a mí me da igual si lees en español o en inglés, porque lees. Y que leas todos los días. Yo no falto un día sin leer, ni falto un día sin escribir, pero soy escritora. Entonces, es importante que leas en inglés, español, o el idioma que sea tu idioma de lengua materna. Y a ver, ¿qué más te puedo contar? Ese libro también, vamos a comentar, ese libro también ganó un premio internacional y también lo eligieron como, los editores de Amazon lo eligieron como algo muy especial para los niños para leer ahora. Entonces, no sé si el libro saldrá en español en algún momento, yo espero que sí. Espero que ese libro salga en español, tal vez, no sé, en 1 año o 2 años, tal vez. Pero no estoy segura. Como le digo, el único libro que ha salido en español es este libro mío. Y yo lo traduje porque quería que los niños entendieran bien el mensaje y quería que rimara. Y cuando me lo mandaron al principio no rimaba. Y entonces yo dije, pues, tenemos que cambiarlo porque quería que rimara. Por ejemplo, la página del cono, no es que no solo rimaba, pero también ellos usaban la palabra marrón, que es la palabra también para brown, ¿verdad? Pero esa palabra se usa más en España, donde yo vivía también, pero yo también viví en Costa Rica y sé que la mayoría de los niños que hablan español en los Estados Unidos usan la palabra café para brown. Entonces decíamos un cono café para compartir. No queríamos decir un cono marrón porque para mí no era tan común. Bueno, Ha sido un placer y les veo más tarde. Thank you so much, Annie. You are on mute, my friend.
I keep doing that. I'm sorry. I mute while you're eating. So beautiful. All of your books look amazing. I only put the link for the book that you read. So can you tell us where's the best place for everybody to look at your other books, order those for themselves, or to send to Book Smiles today?
Sure. My website is susankatzbooks.com, but if for actually purchasing books, any of your independent bookstores, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, bookshop.org, all of those have the books on them. And I think pretty much all the ones I showed are available. That Spanish version is, as I know it, is only available through the Scholastic website.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And we will see you at 7 o'clock.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hello, Ashley. Nice to meet you.
You too. Hi.
Thank you. So I do have to tell everybody that you work with Familius.
Yes.
Which has been an outstanding publishing company with Book Smiles since donating to Book Smiles since I started, working with them. And I want to thank you for that personally.
Yeah,
so thank you so much. And I know that for the classroom, you guys are providing the grand prize. So I want to say thank you for that as well. I mean, you guys just give and give and give. And then Beth tells me, oh, and Ashley will read. I was like, oh my gosh. It's like, you guys are just amazing advocates of children's literacy beyond just publishing the book. Not just, but beyond publishing the books. So let me be clear about that. So it's really, truly amazing how much you guys give. So let me get off the screen and give it over to you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, so as Annie said, my name is Ashley. I work for Familius Publishing, and I'm also a children's book author. So I was originally planning to read my bilingual book, Proud to be Latino Food, Comida, which is all about the different foods eaten throughout Latin America and in Latino areas of the world. Unfortunately, I realized this morning that I've given away the last copy of that book. So I'm instead going to read my newest book, which is S is for Snow, an ABC primer. I felt it was still fitting since we are going into winter and everyone is starting to experience snow. So I did want to share this book with you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's get into the book. So S is for Snow, and ABC Snow Primer. So A is for Arctic, and B is for Boots. C is for Chairlift, D is for Dog Sled, and E is for Evergreens. And so evergreens here are trees that stay green year round. So even when it's snowy, it's winter, and all the other trees lose their leaves, evergreens stay green the entire time. That's why they're called evergreens. F is for figure skating, G is for goggles, and H is for hot chocolate, which we all like to enjoy when it gets cold out. I is for icicle, and J is for Jack Frost. So Jack Frost is the person who brings the winter time. And so you guys may recognize him from other folk tales, fairy tales. Jack Frost is usually the one that brings the ice to the world. K is for King of the Hill. L is for luge. And so luge, you guys might recognize from the Olympics. That's when they race each other down a hill for the fastest time. M is for mittens. N is for Nordic skiing. And O is for an owl. So here we have a snowy owl. You guys might recognize this type of owl if you live in certain parts of the US and Canada. So they have white owls that blend into the snow so that it can stay safe from other animals. P is for polar bear, and Q is for quilt. So we thought quilt was a very snow appropriate word since it gets very cold in the winter. We want something nice and warm like a quilt. R is for reindeer, S is for snow day, and T is for toboggan. So if you're on the East Coast, you definitely know what a snow day is. That's when you get to stay home from school. U is for ultra cool, V is for V style, and W is for winter. So we have a bunch of wintertime items here, a snowman, Christmas, the things that you do in the winter. X is for X Games, Y is for Yukigassen, and Z is for 0 degrees. So I love that Yukigassen is on the last page because this is something that a lot of parents and teachers ask about when we get to this word. So Yukigassen is a very organized snowball fight that occurs in Japan. So in the way that we would play dodgeball or sports like the X Games, it's kind of an alternative sport that people in Japan participate in and watch, and they stream it live. And there are snowball fighting teams and tons of rules. So there is a regulation-sized snowball that they have to make their snowballs in a certain size in order to be a part of this tournament. They have qualifying matches, they have a huge final, and it's a very serious sport there. So if you ever get the chance to look it up, definitely check out Yukigassen on YouTube, and you can see just how serious snowball fighting can be. Yeah, and so this is my newest book, S is for Snow. I do also want to mention, as Annie said, I do work with Familias. I want to give some credit to our illustrator, Volha Khalil. She's actually from Russia, and so her insight into different snow words and snow illustrations was really important for us also because she does know snow very well. We definitely like to work with illustrators and authors from around the globe, and it's a really fun collaborative thing to create books with people who are in different countries and have different perspectives. Definitely something that I appreciate working with Familias. Let's see. This book was really short, sorry.
I did it again. I forgot about the people. You know, Ashley, I loved Familias right off the start because you all have so many books from different cultures, different backgrounds, different areas of the world. Beautiful artwork.
Thank you.
You know, it's a definitely a beautiful publishing house. And also, if people go to your website, you get a free book on like Kindle or whatever. So can you tell everyone about this?
Yeah, so if you go to familias.com, you can sign up for a free ebook. So you can sign up for our newsletter, learn more about the books that are coming out, but we do also give you a free ebook version of our book, which is actually a children's picture book about how stories can take you all over the world to different places, magical places that don't exist in real life, and just the joy of learning to read and enjoying a book for the first time, and then over and over again, of course.
I love that. I love when websites offer that, especially book sites for children, because a lot of parents have not all parents, but a lot of parents have the cell phones, so they have it where the children can read the book on their cell phone. So that's a really cool thing for the children. Glenda says, awesome, when you were reading. And Natasha Dean says, we do all like. We all like to enjoy hot chocolate. We truly do. As a matter of fact, I was sitting here, I was like, I'm getting cold right now. And I don't know if it's her book, it's the book that she's reading, or if it's actually because it's getting cold outside.
Yeah, it does that to me too. And I'm here in California, but I get cold when I see all the snow.
You're in California?
Yeah.
Oh, well, parts of California gets a lot of snow, correct? It's usually
for us. I'm in Fresno, California, so right in the center. We're surrounded by the snowy mountains, and it's really beautiful, but it doesn't quite get to us.
Oh gosh, that's really neat though. I'd love to be able to. I remember when I went on my honeymoon to Sedona. I could see the snowy mountains, but it wasn't anywhere near us. But that's really cool. So, well, what I'm going to do then is remind everybody that's watching that there is all of the links to order the author's books. And it's not, I didn't put the link for the book that Ashley just read. I apologize. It's for the book that she was going to read, Proud to be Latino, Food.
Comida.
I don't know how to say it again. Comida. So I put the link for that book that you can order. Plus, then it would bring you to her other books just by linking to that. And then Usborne we have a wish list from Liz Smith's Usborne books. We made a wish list with a bunch of Spanish books, BIPOC books, bilingual, a whole bunch of those books are all listed that you can order from to send to Book Smiles. And then we also have the PayPal that you can donate money to. Now, if we get $250 in book sales with Usborne or PayPal, they start matching. Usborne starts matching dollar for dollar and free shipping to Usborne. So let's do this, folks.
That's awesome.
All right, let's do this. So, and I want to thank Brian Jacobs for bringing his class today and for entering into our contest. He says his students want to try, I can't say it, Yukigas.
Yeah, definitely.
You taught everybody something new today. I had no idea what that was either. So that's wonderful. Thank you, Brian. And thank you to everyone that donated for his class's swag bags. That was wonderful. And you'll be familiar for the grand prize. And Brian, you have to let us know who won. And when we do this again, we will be looking for more classrooms to enter for the same prizes, for the swag bags and a grand prize. So that'll be wonderful. Thank you again, Mr. Jacobs. It was wonderful. Now I'm going to be bringing everyone on here, if that's okay, Ashley.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to start bringing authors on. Not everyone's here, but let's start bringing them on. We have Darshaun here. Sorry, mad at you early. And we have Larry Abrams. Let's let him get started. He is the founder of Book Smiles we have here right now. So let's let him introduce himself, talk about Book Smiles, and while we're waiting for the rest of everyone to show up. So, Larry, go ahead. Thank you for joining.
Okay, sure. Thank you, and thank you for pulling this together, Annie. This is incredible. I mean, I was just entranced listening to the different writers, and I'm also a little jealous because I really want to write a children's book, and I don't have it yet. I mean, it'll come to me, I know, but I just don't have it, and I really respect authors, people who consider. I tried writing a children's book, didn't happen. But my name is Larry Abrams. I started Book Smiles about 4 years ago, and it was just a very humble thing. I won't tell you everything, but about 4 years ago, like a trigger went off in me, and for a bunch of reasons, a constellation of reasons, I needed to make sure that all children had access to books, equal access to books, not only in libraries, because I get it, some kids won't be able to, get to libraries, but in the homes. This is America. Every child should have books of their own in their homes, books to share with younger brothers and sisters. And really, that's really why I started it, but I could list 10 different reasons why. And it's beginning to get big. And it's so great seeing everyone. I really enjoyed, from Natasha starting off all the way to Ashley and Darshaun. Wow. So that's who I am and what I do. I'm a full-time teacher, and Book Smiles is like my unpaid side hustle. It's my therapy. It's the way that I get happiness by transferring book wealth to children who need it. And that's it in a nutshell.
Well, Larry, let me introduce. I'm going to introduce Diane Kane real quick, but then I want to come back to you to explain what book deserts are and why we're trying to fill them. And then I want to get to talking about Spanish, bilingual, and BIPOC books and why they're so important in today's society, and not today's society, but always. Diane, your mute button's on, and I would like you to introduce yourself. But your mute button's on, so I'm gonna have to text her. Okay, so Larry, go ahead and tell everybody about book deserts. I'm gonna text
All right. So around the time I started this, I read an article in the Atlantic magazine that came out in about 2015, and it talked about book deserts and mentioned there was a study done, a very expansive study done by an NYU professor whose name escapes me. But the statistic stuck in my head that in some areas in America, there's one book for every 300 children. That there are some areas in America that are just, that is the way it is, where books in homes are such a rare thing. And then it did another study where in middle class, upper middle class homes, there are somewhere in the area of 30 books for every child. And then I saw that disparity and got a little bit sick to my stomach and thought, wow, what if we could transfer the book wealth in some way? What if we could get these books that oftentimes go yellow on the shelves? Nobody wants this Fudge Mania anymore. It came out when I was a boy. It's got yellow pages. It just sat there, and otherwise it's in good shape, but it just sat there on the shelf. What if we can get books before they start getting old and yellow and transfer book wealth to kids and irrigate book deserts? That's it.
That's wonderful. Book Smiles just finds they get so many books, and then they go and they deliver them. It's just amazing. But teachers come into their facility and pick up books. There's just so many things that they do. It's just amazing to me. And I got hooked up with them because my sister-in-law is a teacher and in Philadelphia, and Larry made a video asking if anyone knew publishers. And she asked if I could help, and I said, sure. And that's how I got started with Book Smiles. And it was a wonderful decision. I'm very happy. I would like, Diane, since you didn't do a reading, can you please introduce yourself since you're also an author, a children's book author? I think she's are you there, Diane?
I am here.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting a delay, so it's very hard.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting a delay, and that's why it's hard for me to hear. I'm hearing you like in a 30-second delay. But if you can hear me now, okay. So my book, Don Gateau, is about a three-legged cat, and he's in Saborga, Italy. The theme is that he overcomes obstacles, and he was a feral cat, and he was a real cat. And my friend that did the illustrations lives in Saborga, Italy, and she is the artist that Don Gateau belongs to. So it's about overcoming obstacles, and we really thought that it was really important to get it to kids of all cultures. So we did it in French, Italian, and Spanish, and we're really excited about it. I was really excited to work with the translators on this. They did a wonderful job, and so we're really, really proud of it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Diane, for telling everybody about your book, and we're very excited that you joined us today. And thank you also for your donation to the swag bags for the class. That was wonderful. And your donations to Book Smiles, because they received your books also. So I really appreciate that. Now, let's start talking about why it's so important to get the Spanish bilingual, and Black, Indigenous, people of color books into the hands of the children that need to be reading these books. And I'm going to start with Larry.
Okay, here is reality. We've gotten to the point in the book bank, and we're right outside of Philadelphia in South Jersey. And it's gotten to the point where 60% of the teachers who come to take our books for their kids are Philly teachers. We have moved 400,000 books into the book bank. We sort them, we get them out of the book bank. And this is reality. The teachers come to us and say, look, we're looking for diverse books. We are looking for books that feature Black and brown kids. We want something more than, Dr. Martin Luther King. I mean, great, but we need something more than civil rights. We need books that celebrate brown skin, that celebrate natural hair, that give kids a real sense of, hey, look, that's me. That looks like me, and click. It's important. Now, the vast majority of our books look nothing like the kids that we serve. And it is important. It is important when a teacher, an ESL teacher, asks for books saying, look, my kids live in a Spanish-speaking household. If I can just give them something, their parents will be more likely to pick it up and read to them. And if parents don't know how to read well themselves, they can just look at the pictures. We need to have these books, and they're so seldomly donated that this is why we're having this appeal tonight, to really show that there is a screaming urgency, not only for people to donate books, but to donate books that look like the kids that oftentimes feel poor at Scholastic Book Fairs. Why should a child feel poor when Scholastic Book Fair rolls around? Why? So Book Smiles is created to kind of patch that hole and to involve teachers. Teachers should no longer go digging deep into their pockets. I'm a full-time English teacher, and it's tough. So what we do is we get these big-hearted people who want to be part of this thing. They donate books. They look at authors like you guys, and there are some people who say, look, what do you need? I have the resources. They want to see something physical. And that's why we do what we do. So I hope that answered it. I hope I wasn't too long in my explanation, but I think about this stuff all the time. All the time.
Annie, we can't hear you.
Annie, you're on mute.
Yeah.
I did it again. Sherry said, I'm not going to put on my mute. Sherry said, books are windows and mirrors, Bishop 1990. I love that quote. And that's a perfect quote for today or tonight. So, Darshaun, do you have anything to comment, to add to this? I feel like everyone's stuck. Does anyone have anything they'd like to add?
I can add something. Annie, can you hear me?
Tasha, go ahead.
I don't know what other kids' experiences were like when they were growing up, but certainly, Larry, I really identified with what you were saying, where, you're a kid and you walk into the library and you see no stories that represent you, unless they were slave stories, which gets really old really fast, and there was sort of this, I got really grumpy about it, because my family comes from indentured slaves and slaves, period, right? Like not even indentured servants, just plain slaves. And so it was like, I already knew those stories. I didn't really need to have someone fictionalize and then tell it back to me and then get it wrong. So, it's very, very important that writers who represent different kinds of communities have space to write their stories, because, we talk about Black kids and brown kids and Asian kids, but there are also mixed race kids who would love to see themselves represented. And there are kids who are just not one thing, right? They're not just Black, they are Black and on the spectrum. They are brown and in a wheelchair. And it would be awesome if they could see themselves as more than just the issue or more than just the character who teaches a lesson to everybody else, right? Like the joy of storytelling is when we get to just be everyday people living our everyday lives, and we happen to be these other things. That it doesn't, always have to be these stories that have to teach a lesson or, go deep into the pain of our existences. Like there's still joy there. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's very, very important to create space for the kids. It's really important. And not just for the kids, right? But for all the adults who never got to hear those stories. Like what a great thing to be able to read those stories to their children and have that moment of now we both see ourselves. And I think that is like chef's kiss, right?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. We were getting a lot of, I don't mean to change the subject. We're getting a lot of feedback, and I just asked Darshaun to mute his microphone, and I think it stopped. So I think something's wrong. No, it didn't. It's still coming back. Somebody's microphone is making a lot of noise. I'm not sure whose it is, though. It's not Darshaun, so it's okay. I'm not sure who it is. So, anyway. All right. So, I know, Susan, you kept nodding your head. So, I know you have something to say.
Yeah, so I actually, ironically, that the person had put that quote in there, I was referring back to the quote before we got online, Sims Bishop quote, and she talks not only about books being mirrors and windows, but also being sliding glass doors, and that at some point, if we do our job good enough as authors or well enough as authors, that children can actually, step into that world. And then, she also talks about how if the book is reflective of enough of the culture, the window becomes a mirror. So it looks like a lot of us are familiar with the quote, but for the people who are watching, the idea of why it's so important to have books that look like children, that also look like other groups of ethnicities that you're not a part of, so that you can learn about those ethnicities, so that you're not only seeing this particular type all the time. So I printed out the whole quote, and if we ever want, I have the whole quote to read it. It's not long, but it's a paragraph. But I just wanted to ground myself before we had this conversation. So I'm glad somebody posted that quote in the chat, because it is sort of an anchor for all of us who do this work.
That's really, really a good point. And I like that you expanded on that quote. It makes a lot of sense, especially for, like I said, for exactly what we're doing right now, because it is very important that the children can see themselves in the book. And like Larry said, so many of the children that he serves or Booksmile serves are not seeing themselves in the books. And so that's why we're doing what we're doing tonight, and why we created the wish list, and we created, I put the links for where to get all of the books that were read tonight, which are perfect for this, are on Booksmiles and the Right Review, where we are. Now, I think Sylvia Lopez was also nodding her head. So I think you have something to say.
Right. I belong to several groups, different
Thank
ones.
you, Susan.
That have to do with diversity. 22 PDs is one of them. And we need more diverse books is another organization, and there's several coming up in 2021. One of my favorite quotes is familiarity breeds respect. Okay. And I think in the present situation that we find ourselves in as a country, we are seeing that the lack of familiarity with other cultures, with other peoples, have caused a lot of problems. Mm-hmm. And we need to address those issues. And the best place and the best age to address those issues is early. Okay? When a child, I realize that when there is a conflict, whichever side is victorious will write history. And that has always happened. But if you dig into the history of the United States, you see that it isn't only homogeneous, that it is very widespread. All different kinds of ethnic groups live here. And as Natasha said, different mixes of ethnic groups live here. And no, we have not addressed in children's literature those mixes enough and those groups well enough. We began with the civil rights, 1960s, and it took off and it was wonderful and it was time for that. But we need to move on. We need to move on to the other groups. I think that when children are exposed to that at an early age and they see themselves and they see people in other groups doing wonderful things just like they could, okay? That makes for a society that will get along better, that will understand each other, will accept each other better. And it all begins with children. It all begins with children. Whatever you teach them early on, they will absorb, whether that is good or bad. That can happen too. Yes, I think children's literature is moving on. I want to remind everybody that women are a minority or have been a minority, if not in numbers, certainly in the rights of women have been completely obliterated for so many centuries, not only in our country, but every place, but especially here. It's time that we began to see women, outstanding women, as role models as well.
Correct.
So,
okay, I'm going to try to thank you for your info. That was a very wonderful information, Sylvia. I really appreciate it. Darshaun, I'm going to try to add Darshaun. Diane, I have you on here like 4 times. There's something wrong, so I'm not going to be able to. I don't know which one to add. So I'm not going to be able to add you back on because I don't know which one to add. But I'm going to add Darshaun.
Can I mention a book, Annie, that I actually agented a while back for Alma Florada called Yes, We Are Latinos? And that book actually has some great vignette stories of children who might be like Cuban and Jewish or, you know, different mixed ethnic backgrounds. When I taught in Berkeley, almost my entire class, every child in that class was like, the mom was Filipina and the dad was Black, or the mom was Latina and the dad. It was, every kid in my class in Berkeley. It was unbelievable. So that is something we definitely we need more in. So Yes, We Are Latinos is by Alma Florada, and it's Isabel Campoy, and it's a wonderful book in that.
Oh, that sounds like a great book. You know, I also what is the best age for children to learn? They say between like things like that you were talking about, Sylvia, absorb things that are very important for the full life, like especially like they can very well learn very, very early. And Larry is always very particular, like you must get the books in the hands of the children right away. You know, he's very adamant about that. So, you know, actually reading
babies.
Yeah, so it's so important. You put the seeds in as early as you can. You know, that's very, very important. And, you know, it doesn't have to be when they get to first grade or, you know, any of that. And I think that's very interesting. I want to bring over some of the comments that are being made. 1 second. James Ward loves that you said irrigate book deserts. So you're giving, and book wealth. I mean, you're giving everybody new terms here, Larry. I love that's very interesting.
It's what I do as an English teacher. I make stuff up. I didn't invent the term book desert. I can't take credit for that. But the whole idea of irrigating book deserts with books, it just resonates. And I'll also take credit for the term book-wealth. That doesn't really exist on the internet. You can Google it. And if we start looking at books, especially gently used books, as a commodity to level playing fields, to give all children self-esteem, to give all children power, it just seems like it's a no-brainer. We can do this. We can fix this. Books are not perishable unless they sit for, you know, centuries on kids' bookshelf. We can fix this.
Well, I remember, I don't know what grade I was in, maybe 3rd grade. My favorite Christmas gift was I got a hardback of Little Women. And it was like, I held on to that for dear life. It's still up in my library. You know, it's like the best gift I ever got. So it does feel like wealth. Sherry says, it's a long one, so I don't think I can get it over here. She says, access to 500 book library has a great effect on the level of education a child will attain as having university educated parents and caregivers. Evan, and as she said, it's a quote by Evans, Kelly, Sakura, Tryman, 2010. So she's given us a lot of quotes tonight. But, you know, it is true. The more you read, the more you learn. And that's just, it's very important. Natasha talks about that in her book, you know, about reading and writing, you know, with her talking with her grandma, right? Miri talking to her grandma.
Yeah, and so there was you guys, like I'm listening to you and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, there's all these great points, right? Like I think we could talk about this kind of forever. But what I want to say is like reading increases our appetite for learning, right? Because we get curious and it's like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't, you know, and all of a sudden we're multiple users at the libraries. And there's some really great research as well on how reading teaches empathy, right? So it goes back to what Sylvia was saying, that we stop looking at others as the other when all of a sudden we realize that, no, we're actually basically the same. And I would say that, you know, get books in early, but it's never too late to get books in.
Correct.
Right. And I, you know, I visit schools and I just feel really lucky to go and visit with schools. And, you know, it's like junior high and high school, you can still catch those kids, you know, and all you need to do is encourage. Like I always say to kids, like, you can read the first 5 pages and put down that book if you don't like it. Like there is no law in the world that says, oh, you know, you have signed it out. Now you must finish. Like, no, right? Like go ahead, put it down. Find the book that lights you up, because man, once that happens, like that's it, right? Like that spark is lit forever. And there's such a wealth of books for kids who are at grade and books for kids who need that little bit of extra love. So simpler vocabulary, shorter word count, like all of these fabulous things. And I think sometimes, like one of the saddest experiences I ever had, and I think Susan, this goes back. I think you were the one who was talking about women, or maybe Sylvia, that was you. Women as a minority representative, but it was the mom of a boy who refused to read stories if the character was a girl. He would read Geronimo Stilton and he could identify with a mouse, but he could not identify with a girl. And I think there is something to be said for us as writers and as parents in the world to encourage our kids that people are people, right? It doesn't matter. Go ahead and wear pink. Go ahead and, you know, celebrate, you know, like Darshaun, like, dang, you know, who, like, if your boy child wants to have those socks, man, get him those socks, right? Because a hero is a hero and a cool character is a cool character. And it doesn't really matter at heart if you share their gender or not. They're just going to be awesome. And that's where we need to, I think, that's where we find that the fireflies and the fireworks in it.
That's a great point.
Thank you very much. That's a great. I just reviewed a children's book, and I'm very excited about it. And that's what the whole book's about, that, and it's called Anton Tan. It's just wonderful, and I'm real excited for it to. Right now the author is in Croatia, so I'm very excited for it to come I call it stateside. Come to the United States, you know, get here. She was on our last book drive, and I'm drawing a blank on her name. Larry, you have to remember her. She's the Croatian author. Children's author.
I remember her book. I can't recall her name.
But the book is awesome. So Renee is saying, I'm so glad this conversation is being had at this time in our country. Literature comes alive and becomes relevant when we see ourselves in it. This allows children to become empathetic and see themselves when they view the world through the eyes of a character. Thank you, Renee, for your for your comment. Now, Nancy Ellen is asking where the wish list is. I'm not sure where it is on Book Smiles, but on the right review, it's the comment right below our conversation here. Where did you put it?
And if everybody follows Book Smiles, we're up to about 2,700 followers, which is very, very cool. I'd like to get up to 3,000. Tell your friends. But I put the wish list right above this. I mean, it's right smack dab there on our screen.
Wonderful. So that's our next goal. We got to get you above 3,000 followers. I love that. Sylvia?
I just wanted to make a comment about something that you said just before, Annie. How young is young to introduce these concepts? The illustrators have a lot to do with it. The illustrators become extremely important, because in a baby book that has nothing to do with race or ethnicity or anything like that, but if you have a diverse looking children, if you have a diversity of children in ethnic looking, then you're already introducing that baby to be familiar with someone who doesn't necessarily look like him or her, and not to feel, not to meet that person. There are people who never meet someone of another race because they live in a suburb, or they live in a very encapsulated society, and they don't come into contact with other ethnic groups or other races or things like that. So when is it too early? It's never too early. Baby books, board books, as long as their characters are representative of a broad type of people, broad groups of people. I have seen baby books with babies or toddlers in a wheelchair, or with
I mean, I know that. I mean, we were going to have, I was going to have a guest on, Gary Chislane, who the main character is in a wheelchair, but we're now going to do that in December. But right now we're trying really desperately to get Spanish books into the hands of Hispanic children, Latin children, and the BIPOC books into the black and brown children. So that's what we're aiming for tonight. So I want to make sure that that's what we're talking about, and not everything else. I'm sorry, it's not that that's not important, and I agree that it is, but I want to make sure that we're on point, because we don't have too much time.
I just wanted to make sure that we understood that an illustrator can make or break a book.
I agree. Oh yeah.
Because he or she can show diversity in the illustrations, even if it's not.
Oh, 100%. I totally think that that's so important, especially at the beginning of their life, right? At 0, at 1, they're all that they're doing is seeing visual. Everything's visual to them, and or the parent reading to them, right? So it's just, that's why when I put on that list, I also have your illustrator's name.
Yes.
Your illustrator's listed as well. Children's books are about the author and the illustrator. Both make it come alive, And sometimes, for example, Susan, tonight you were reading your book, and I don't know Spanish, so I was checking out the book behind you. Not that I didn't like it. I did love your illustrations. Your people were adorable, but I loved your Mother Earth book. The illustrations on that. So yeah, people are drawn to illustrations right away. It's very, very interesting. So
I wanted to add about the kind of a bookend. One of the most popular books right now is The Anti-Racist Baby, and that's a board book about being anti-racist. And then on the other end, you're talking about people buying books. I mean, who has the buying power for children are their parents and grandparents, right? Or teachers. I was a teacher for 25 years, so I totally know that we do have a lot of buying power. But on the adults still, why is J.K. Rowling going by J.K. Rowling? Why is E.L. James going by E.L. James? Because their initials will draw in both male and female readers. And that's something we do even as adults, is that we won't buy a book if it's not by somebody of the same gender. So it's something to think about, just to consider. I know we're focused on language and ethnicity today, but I just wanted to piggyback a little bit on what Natasha was saying about that.
There's so many different variables. I mean, I think we could have a talk every Friday night and talk about 50 different things about books, right? I mean, that's the truth of the matter.
Darshaun's raising his hand.
Oh, Darshaun, I missed it. Go ahead, Darshaun. Take it away.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, perfect. All right. So thank you guys for having me. I really do appreciate it. Everybody touched on a lot of great points. Part of the reason, and I'm going to say this again, I'm a jealous dad. Part of the reason I created my stories was to share those moments with my daughter because I wanted her to look up to me as a hero. Again, my father didn't get a chance to do the things I'm doing with my daughter. I started reading to her the first story, Anaiah's Trip to the Rainbow, the first day that she was born. And then the third day when we took her home from the hospital, I just got a chance to read to her. And again, she was looking at me. I got pictures and videos of those moments. And for me, I had to think about the marketing tactic when it came to little boys and girls, when it came to my daughter's character. One thing that I did notice, I did not see too many kids, African American kids, if you will, on book covers. And I wanted to, try it out with my daughter so she can be familiar with herself, so she can be confident. And I just had this big notion of, hey, why don't I just try to teach her how to do all these things that I'm learning as an adult? Why don't I teach it to her early so she can just be familiar with it and not look at people a certain type of way. Just I was just trying to get her familiar with, in a sense, if you will, strangers, right? And you're no longer a stranger until you introduce yourself. Hey, my name is Darshaun. What's your name? And that's what I teach my daughter. Hey, if you want to go make a friend, say, hey, my name is Anaiah. What's your name? And that's what we do in this household. So again, I want to thank everybody. They had some phenomenal points. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk. And I just really thank everybody for the support because I was thinking about this for a long time to get on a platform like this and be able to talk about why it's important for kids of all nationalities to just read about different kids, whether they're boy or girl. Just reading is extremely fundamental. That's how I got a chance to learn how to draw. Picking up books from Hobby Lobby and stuff like that, self-taught. And just taking that time with your children is by far the most important time you're ever going to have, because at the end of it, they're not going to say how much money you spent on them. They're going to say what mom and dad did with me for a moment.
That's exactly right. And like that's we're talking about people. I was talking with one of the authors about I can't remember who it was, and I apologize. We're talking about parents that can't get to the library, parents that don't have the money to get to the store for their children, parents that do not have the ability to have the time to maybe read to their child because they're working 3 jobs to put dinner on the table. And that's what we're here for today. We're trying to talk about getting books to them. And I think it's really, Larry talked about this so much better than what I'm trying to say right now last time, and so I would rather Larry talk about what I'm trying to say.
All right. So here's the thing that I think about a lot. At the book bank in Cherry Hill, 10 miles out of Philly, less than 10 miles, there is a guy who runs an art gallery for very elite artists. He sells paintings for $100,000, $200,000, $50,000. And it occurred to me that there is so much wealth in America that if people are asked and told and given a compelling point to buy books, such as the ones that you guys have shown us today, why can't we do stuff like that? As I said, I'm looking, I get a lot of books donated, 25,000 books a month. It's a lot of books. But again, I'm looking for this particular kind because that's where the demand is here in Philadelphia. I would welcome the chance to work with any of you. If you use our name and say, look, we're running a campaign. I promise you, I will be able to distribute your books to very, very grateful teachers who are literacy warriors who then give them to the kids in their schools. We're that pipeline, we're that bridge. So certainly you can talk to me, offline about that. And we can help sell your books and get these precious books into the hands of the babies.
Larry also does a really neat thing. Like I read an article, like before I was officially volunteering, Larry was at a line where people were getting food, and he was handing out books while people were getting food. And the line was very, very long, and people needed, the want for food was the same as books, the want for books. So the hunger is just as strong. And I think that that is so important, like in today's world, and especially in the area that he is. So I think it's really wonderful that you all are here today and reading to the children, reading your books, reading to the adults that are listening, reading so that they know what is on the inside of those books that makes them so important. Why actually Susan reading in Spanish? Why is it so important that they're reading the book and it's in Spanish? You know, they're reading from their actual language. You know, it's very, very important. You know, it's just such a wonderful thing that everyone's doing and being here, and I really, really appreciate it. Joanne is asking, Susan, what was that title of the book that you mentioned? We are Latin.
Yes, we are Latinos. Yes, we are Latinos.
Yes, we are Latinos.
And the other one I mentioned was The Anti-Racist Baby, which is a board book.
Anti-Racist Baby. I love that. The Anti-Racist Baby. I didn't even hear of this one. Nancy Ellen says, Darshaun, you are an inspiration. Renee says, thank you, Larry. Sherry says, in this time of virtual learning, students lost their daily access of books at school. Now it's about books at home. And, you know, that's very true. There's different avenues. I know Larry has teachers picking up books that then the teachers are running to drop the books off at the students' houses and at the door and run back to their car. Isn't this true?
It is a good point, Annie. When the pandemic first set in, I thought, how am I going to get the books in? Because we used to have 12 to 16 teachers coming in every Sunday and Wednesday when we distributed. COVID came, that didn't happen. And then I looked and I saw what DoorDash was doing. And then I encouraged other teachers, hey, look, you can do this too. What's done with books are done with food. And then I saw this beautiful thing happening where teachers would come in by the droves, taking cases of books. And mind you, the teachers are not paying. We ask teachers for a nominal donation of $25, and they can take as much as they want at this Book Smiles feast. And so what teachers would do is they would take the books and put them in bags and put them on the doorsteps of these precious children. Again, finding creative ways to irrigate book deserts is important. Your books are doing nobody any good if they're sitting there on the shelves at, in warehouses. How do we move books into the hands of kids?
Diana says, thank you, Larry. Your support is helping Willard students read. You are an inspiration. Sherry says, picking up 12,000 soon and would love books with people of color.
Yeah.
You better get ready.
Yeah. We have a big load coming up, 12,000.
Heidi says, my mom read to all six of us. I'm the youngest of six, and I know what Darshaun is saying as teaching your kids about different races. It's hard at times. Yeah, I'm sure it is. But these books are just awesome, and I love that they start with the board books. That Larry has a hard time getting board books in too, don't you, Larry? With the board books?
Yeah, we have a critical need for board books because we look at board books almost like the way that we look at toys. The babies love toys. Putting a board book in a fat, chunky baby's hands, it's like putting a toy into their hands. So that's definitely something that we need more of, board books.
So I wanted to ask, all of you. Ashley, you haven't said a word. And you come from a publishing house that literally is diversity in itself. So when did you start working at Familius?
So I've been working with Familius for 4 years now, and we've been around for a little over 6.
Wow, that's amazing. What did you find has been your most rewarding thing? Oh, it must be something's wrong. I'm hearing a lot of feedback. what has been your most rewarding thing being at Familius experience?
So for me, I really like to see how books are made, or like how books are created. And so like Darshaun was saying, I was actually read to as a really young kid. Like we used to walk miles and miles to get to the library just so that we could get books. And so like I grew up in an area that was very rural. So like you guys are talking about book deserts, like there was one library that was miles away from us, and that was like no bookstores, just the library. So I definitely agree with everything that everyone's saying. Like I'm the child that is a product of that type of teaching, and now I work in publishing. So like, for me, I love to see the book made. Yeah, you know, I love seeing the collaborative efforts like with our illustrators from around the world, our authors from around the world. And I really love how our team talks about, you know, showing diversity that isn't, like you guys were saying, civil rights always. You know, there's no reason that we couldn't have a diverse group of kids playing in a playground in this scene. We have had like some reviewers in the past say like there was no need for all of this diversity, but if you look in the real world, like people look diverse. If you go to a random park, you know, you're going to see children of different ethnicities, and just showing them naturally interacting with each other is important for kids to see, because then it shows them like, oh yeah, you can interact with different groups of people, and that's fine. Even if it's not written directly into the story, it's always important to keep showing that.
Very true, very true. Well, your publishing house, like I said, definitely huge with, I'm sorry, with the, I'm trying to add people, huge with the diversity, so I think it's just beautiful.
Ashley, what house are you with?
I'm sorry?
What house are you with?
I'm with Familius. So we're not a big publishing house. We've been around for about 6 years, a little over 6 years now. But we're growing pretty rapidly, and we're hoping that, you know, the stories that we tell and the books that we put out there, our mission is to help families be happy. So families of all backgrounds and of all types, we hope that they can see themselves in our books and just find joy in that. And that's really our mission.
Great, thank you.
Wonderful. Diana Garcia. Oh my gosh, Larry. She'd like to volunteer to support Book Smiles. Got to volunteer. Thank you, Diana.
Annie, can I add something about, you know, we're talking about allowing people to see themselves and allowing them to see themselves in like any way and every way. But what I was also thinking about is the way that when we have lots of representation and when we have lots of different kinds of stories with lots of different kinds of people in it, you know, and I don't know if I'm going to say this right, but it's like we're making the world better because at some point in time as readers, we go out into the world and then we start to question the things that we're seeing and we start to ask, well, why that? And what I was thinking about was a couple of years ago, and I can't remember if it was a Canadian ad or an American ad, but it was about pool safety. Does anyone remember this ad? It was like a big illustration, and they were diverse in the sense that they had like the white kids and the brown kids and the black kids. But what they were showing was the things you should do and the things you shouldn't do. And every white kid was the do. And every kid of color was the don't. And they got called out so fast and so hard where people went, wait a second, like what is going on here? And we're not prepared to take this. And they had to pull their ad and like bring it back out again and do better. And I love that because I feel like when we see stories and we see everyone out there allowed to be themselves, we then look to the world and demand of the companies and the organizations and the people to do better and to be better, because we're not going to accept this. Even something small like a pool safety ad, you better do right by all of us, not just some of us.
Right. Thank you, Natasha. Natasha, I love when you talk. You need to be a political person or something like that. Nancy says, Larry, thank you so much for my colleague at Children's Choice. I gave her 300 books from Book Smiles to distribute to 30 foster children in North Philly yesterday. She was in tears.
Yeah, this is where your books go. We have what we call literacy warriors. Again, I didn't make that term up, but we have very committed people like Nancy who come to the book bank, take tons of books, and they're the ones. It's very crowdsourcing, and that's how we get the books into the hands of kids. It's mainly teachers, but we do. Nancy's a social worker, does social work, and we have other people doing that as well. And so, but we have faith-based organizations that come in, and we have to be a team. We have to just get together to find people of means and people who may not have means. If someone just donates $25, boom. With that $25, that enables us to source and distribute 100 books. It costs us 25 cents to move a book that has been donated, sorted, stored, and distributed. And we need diversity in the books that are coming in. It is so critical, and I hope that you all can find ways to work with us to irrigate book deserts, to get the highly coveted books that we so desperately need.
It's just amazing how many the number of books that have just been picked up, sent, like just in this conversation now. So it goes to show you how many need to come in for the back end to go back out the front end. So that's why these book drives are really important. So, I really appreciate everyone that's thanking you so much. I love it. I love it. And, again, all of you, everyone's donated books, so I really appreciate it. And time.
We appreciate you, Annie, for having this forum and putting this together.
No problem.
Darshaun had his hand up again. I'm like such a teacher.
Hi, Darshaun.
All right. So I'm pretty okay. So I'm pretty sure you guys are about to wrap up, but I got to get ready to leave. All I wanted to say was thank you guys so much for having me on. Please, by all means, do not deprive any kid of any adventure in these books. Not just my book, but any book. Give them a chance to be a kid. We know what it's like to be adult. So by all means, let them experience being a kid every second of every day. Because you're only going to be a kid once, but you're going to be an adult for a long time.
That's true. Oh my gosh, that's true. And how fast did we try to grow up when we were kids? And we always believed, that our parents were wrong when we would say, "Oh, we want to grow up," and they'd say, "Oh, then you're gonna have to pay bills. You're gonna have to work." We're like, "We don't care." But you're right. You're very right. And Darshaun, I know you said you were going to leave. So thank you so much for reading and singing. How adorable was that when you were singing? That was so cute. Oh my gosh. So cute.
That was fun. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm glad I get a chance to show you guys, what it's like for me to create those books. So that's how it happened. That moment there was a moment that I've had with her when she was small, and to do it in front of everybody, it's just a dream come true. Thank you.
It was so touching, and the word, yeah. Again, like James Ward said, good words, Darshaun. I mean, they were like right on, like rock star quality words. Like when you were talking about the planets, it was like, it was awesome. It was awesome. So, again, I have the link up to your page. So I think we're about to wrap this up. Again, the links are everywhere. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. And every time I have a book drive, I am going to have a classroom that's going to win a swag bag from the teacher, from the authors. And I'll find someone to send a grand prize like Familius, Ashley's company, to send a grand prize. So I hope teachers are listening and they're going to want to enter their classroom, because I know Mr. Jacobs and his classroom had a lot of fun with this. So thank you so much. Oh, Rena said, such a wonderful collaboration by everyone. This is awesome. And Rena, who was watching, thank you for your donation. I saw that. You were our first donation. So thank you so much tonight. I really appreciate it. And so thank you everyone for being here. I appreciate your time so much. It was such a wonderful Friday night. Such a wonderful Friday night.
It was awesome. Thank you, guys.
Great. Thank you.
All right.
Be in touch.
Yeah, we will. Thank you.
Be
All
in
right.
touch. All right. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.